Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy, and the dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the pitch. Dati mihi Anglican for service on you.
That's literally not true.
I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Is that correct?
Oh, for crumb's sake.
Good morning, good morning.
It's bigger than you. It's bigger than you. It's bigger. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us.
I need to just deactivate big. It's not working. Big is now gone. Big's gone. Good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the recovery addict. Yes. I don't know why the music is so loud and I am so quiet. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Check 1 2. Check. There's all of us. Check 1 2. Test. Test 1 2. Test. Check. It's got to be this one right here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. That was too loud. Welcome. I'm the recovery addict. Please take your seat. Take your seat.
Are we going to address subject matter jurisdiction?
Probably should do that. Probably should. I do apologize. We missed you all last night. The podcast. I'm not sure where you were. No, just kidding. We didn't do it. If you were looking, it was not your fault. With some changes to schedule, it just became impossible to do it. And
Thank you, sir. You're my new best friend.
Honestly, I had received an invite that I had previously thought I had to reject. But it overlapped for the podcast time. And it was with a couple guys I'm friends with that they wanted to hang out and play pickleball. And after Thomas has been telling me how amazing pickleball is, I thought I've got to give this a try. And so I'm like, let me skip the podcast tonight because Thomas isn't available either. We'll skip the podcast on the Thursday night podcast, and then we'll just go straight to pickleball. We'll do that. Right, and it'll be a blast. I'll get to figure it out, and I'll be like, "Oh, Thomas, now I figure out. Now I know what you're talking about." Right? Now it all makes sense now. And thank you, bud. Appreciate that. Thank you. Water deliveries. Thank you. So I'm like, let's do that. Well, right as I'm getting ready to go, we get an email that says, "Hey." Due to the huge thunderstorm that's right here and pouring rain, we're not going to be able to have pickleball anymore. So we've moved it to a location. It's an indoor location. Bring a game. I'm like, all right. So pickleball's out, but I had already told them I was going to go, and I said, so I'll bring a game. And I brought the Pop-Tarts. And I showed up there playing a card game, and when I showed up, everybody switched over to playing Pop-Tarts. For the next 2 hours, we just played Pop-Tarts. It was a blast. It was loads of fun, and I did terribly at it. But it was a lot of fun. So thanks. Sorry I missed the podcast last night. I would say we'll make it up to you, but I don't know if we ever will. So. All right, Angelique, welcome. I think people are getting on the birthday list right now. Is that what's happening? Not Pop-Tarts, Pop-Darts. Pop-Darts. Darts. It's a little game that uses, I don't know what they are.
Happy birthday.
Silicone suction cups, like this. You stick one on a flat surface, like a whiteboard or like a desk. You stick the big one on a flat surface, and then you throw the other darts at it, and you try to land on top. When it lands on top, it sticks. And it sounds like this. It's a very satisfying sound. I love this game. Not a sponsor. Wish they were, because I just bought 3 sets. So now our family has 4 sets, which means we have enough for everyone to play at the same time. If you want the link, I can give you a link. Hang on one second. That would be... I prefer the Pro Pack, but you can get the smaller version that doesn't allow you to land on top. It's just a target. Okay, hang on. We're not ready for anything. Here's a link. There it is right there. It's in chat. You have to click it before it goes by. It's a fun game. I'm hooked. It's not pickleball, Thomas. It's not pickleball, but I'm hooked. Okay, we have to sing happy birthday so we can hurriedly go over to court and catch up as they're going to be starting this very second. So let's do a quick rendition of the birthday song for those who are celebrating, if there are anyone. Oh, sorry. Chat's not on the air. Then I don't have to recognize that Greeners was first in chat and he won the internet yet again. Congratulations, Greeners. You have asserted your dominance in the domain of chat. And for that, you're going to be punished. All right, we have birthdays on the screen right now. Here we go. Thank you very much. Lisa, Jackie, Nichole. Wow, that's a cool name. Nichole. Never seen that. Trying to find the birthday song. Hang on. It went missing. Okay, there it is. Lisa, Jackie, Nichole, Belinda, Twubble, Ani, and Bevy. Okay, so Lisa, Jackie, Belinda, Twubble, Ani, and Bevy. That's a one-verser. We can do this. Everyone stand up, take a deep breath, shoulders back, project your voice to the back of the room, blend your voice with your neighbors, warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. We're ready. We can do this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lisa, Jackie, Belinda, Twubble, Oni, and Bevy. Happy birthday to you. To everyone who's celebrating their birthday today, especially Lisa, Jackie, Belinda, Twubble, Oni, and Bevy. Happy birthday. This is your special day. There are many special days. This one is yours. I realize there are a million places you could be, a million people you could have been with. You chose to be here with us. Let us celebrate with you. The privilege, the pleasure, the honor is ours. Hopefully we can return that joy to you in some small way. Make your day a little bit more specialer. Help yourself to free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Hang on, there's a buffer. Add Brenda Meyer. Okay, next verse. Here we go. Brenda, everything applies to you here as well. Here we go. We have an interlude, and then we get to sing happy birthday again to Brenda. This is the a cappella version, so everyone sing loud. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to everyone else and Brenda Meyer. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Free pancakes at Denny's, IHOP, Village Inn, Waffle House, McDonald's, Tammy Dunlap's house, Andy's Grill, and Bob Evans. There you go. Happy birthday to all. Let's see. She'll love this just like last year. She thinks it's the coolest thing on the interweb. She's 9 tomorrow. Ani! Is it Ani or Oni? Ani. I think it's Ani. Ani, happy birthday. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. It doesn't make it any less special. Andrew C., happy birthday. I think we got everybody. Big drum solo for the finish. There you go. Beautiful. That was wonderful. Thank you all for your support in singing that song and doing it justice like it deserves. So we're going to jump to court now, which is beginning as we speak. Give it just a second. Here we go. I think we have a counter. What's the counter supposed to be at? Window, tally counter. I'm showing 29. Does that sound right?
Give me a second.
I just had to plug in the tally counter so it would work. And set it up now.
North Central Judicial District is again back on the record. The time is 32 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock. Today's date is Friday, March 21st, 2025. My name is Richard L. Hagar, District Court Judge. This is our fourth day of trial in 51-2022 CR 421, State of North Dakota versus Nichole Rice. Again, it's the fourth day of the trial. I know we started jury selection on Monday, but we started the trial on Tuesday. Accordingly, the jury is not present. Ms. Sorgan, any issues before I bring in the jury?
Your Honor, I'll let Mr. Nelson address that.
There is one issue, Your Honor. It's not an issue per se for the trial. I just want to make sure that everybody's aware. After we were finished yesterday, I went to the walk-in and I was diagnosed with strep throat. So if anybody involved in the case, are you picking me up now, Colette? I've gotten a lot of grief from the other people from the Ward County contingent, Your Honor, so you could just join in on that. But sure. If anyone starts to feel a rough throat, perhaps they should go to the walk-in as well.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Sorry you have it. Not something we would like. Okay, Mr. Sand.
Yeah, please don't share it.
Nothing from us, Your Honor. All right.
Why are
bring
you
in the
here?
Jury, please.
You have to take antibiotics for 24 hours before you become before you should be out in public. His whole the whole state's team was like, "Yep, we're getting it. We're passing it around. We've sat forehead to forehead poring over evidence for the last week. There's no way we're not sharing this amongst ourselves." And yeah, this is a situation where I think a mask might be helpful, or at least a kind gesture, if it's not too late already, to those who are sitting around him. Yeah, he's got strep throat. I thought it was the prosecutor's. I thought it was his second chair, or maybe it was first chair, that was feeling sick. She said it might have to leave.
Statewide roll call of the jury.
Stateway's roll call, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand.
We waive as well, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Sorgan, you wish to call your next witness, please.
I will be handling
right,
the next couple
Nelson.
witnesses, Your Honor. The state calls April Molton.
April Molton first up for the day 4 beginning right
April,
now.
I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the last name correctly, but I believe it's Molton.
Okay, thank you.
Well, maybe you should ask her how she pronounces her name.
Then if you'll come up here, please, ma'am. This lady is going to swear you an oath.
A little closer. Step right up.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
And then we'll have you come over here and take a seat, please. Witness stand. Go ahead and get yourself seated and adjusted. Once you're comfortable, go ahead. I'd like you to aim the microphone at your chin, and then make sure the light is on the base. Okay. Mr. Nelson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you state your name for the record, please?
April Alia.
I'm sorry?
My name's actually April Alia.
Whoa.
Well, there was a recent name change?
Yes, I was married
Okay. When did that marriage take place?
in 2022.
Okay. So a lot of our documents had a different last name. What was that, Molton?
Yes.
Okay. Could you spell your last name for us, please? The
Congratulations.
Alyea.
Okay. And April is spelled the normal way?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you know Anita and Nichole?
Yes.
How did you know that?
We went to school together
Where would that have been?
in Velva.
Okay. Were you all part of the same graduating class?
Yes.
Okay. Were you friends with either of them?
Yes.
Who were you friends with?
I was, I guess, friends with both of them, but I was close with Anita.
Okay. How big are the graduating classes at Velva?
It's pretty small. There was like,
She's so quiet.
I don't know, maybe 30.
Okay. So smaller school, you pretty much know everybody. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
All right. Now, going back to
Sharon Ken
June
Sharp,
of 2007.
2 years on the jury.
Do you
Thank
recall
you
that
so
time frame?
much.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about the time around when Anita was murdered. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Katia.
You're going to need to speak up, okay?
Katia, thank you for 10 months.
You do seem like you're getting a little emotional up there. If you need a moment, just let us know, okay?
Okay.
All right.
We're all going to
Do you remember when you heard about Anita's death?
Yes.
When did you hear about that death?
When I was at work,
Where was that at?
Choice Hotels.
Okay. Did you work with Anita there?
No.
Okay. What did you do at Choice Hotels?
I was a reservation agent.
Okay. So you worked at the front desk?
No, I just worked a call center.
Oh, okay. I apologize. So you heard about Anita's death. What happened next?
I left work and I went home. And then a group of us went and we met at a friend's house. We all got together.
Whose house was that?
Sorry. We all met up at Miranda's house.
If you need a tissue, there's some up there.
Okay.
Okay.
Andrew
Who was
C.
Miranda?
It's another one of our friends.
Okay. And who all was there?
Amber, Larissa, Robin, Tammy, Kelly, I think Whitney. There was quite a few of us.
Would these have all been people that grew up together in Belva?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were all high school classmates?
Yeah.
Of course, this occurred just a couple years after, a year or so after graduation?
Yeah.
Okay. Did Nichole join the group?
Yeah, she was the last one to arrive.
What did Nichole say anything when she got there?
Yeah, when she arrived at the house, we all kind of walked over to go talk to her because she had just gotten back from the police station. So we went over to kind of find out like what had happened and what she knew. And when she got there, we were kind of, I guess, surprised because, sorry.
Take your time.
When she got out of the car, the rest
I'm
of
going to
us...
object for hearsay, Your Honor.
Overruled. When she got out of the car is all she said. Keep going.
When she got out of the car, the rest of us had been crying and upset about the death. And, you know, we were still trying to figure out, you know, what had happened and what was going on. And when she got out, the first thing she told us was that she was going to the police station, or she had just gotten back from the police station, and that they wanted her to go up to the apartment to go look around and see if she knew if anything was missing up there, and that her pink iPod better not be missing. And I found it very funny that that's what she was concerned about, was an item being missing.
So Nichole was the one saying that her pink iPod better not be missing?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you said that seemed odd to you?
Yeah, the rest of us were concerned about Anita being dead, and she was worried about an item being missing from the apartment.
Did Nichole say anything about Anita?
At that time, or what do you mean?
Either that time or other times that you recall.
I mean, there were times where she'd be upset with her and stuff, but I guess I can't, like, tell you a specific time in general, but...
But you recall her being upset with Anita?
Yeah, I mean, there were times where she'd be angry with her, and times where she, mentioned that she was upset with her and stuff. But
Like, how often would you say that happened?
I mean, I guess I can't give you a specific number.
It's been a long time ago, so I
Yeah.
have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Sand, do you have any cross-examination?
Yep, just briefly, Your Honor.
This is a circumstantial case, so these little circumstances are all adding up.
April, did you have a chance to get together with the state and rehearse what was going to be said today on the stand?
Objection, Your Honor, as to the characterization.
Mr. Sand, reword your question, please.
Did you have a chance to talk to the state about your testimony today prior to being up here?
Yes.
When was that?
A little bit ago.
What's that?
Just a little bit ago.
How long ago?
She keeps looking at the state.
10 minutes ago, maybe?
10 minutes ago. Is there anything they asked you to key in on? No. Anything specific they wanted you to look over before you testified? Make sure you remembered?
I mean, not really.
What did you guys discuss?
I mean, they asked me if I knew both of them.
Okay. Anything else?
If I went to the clubs with them, and if I remembered going anywhere. They asked me if I met with anybody after.
I'm talking about the state's attorney here.
Yeah.
Okay.
They asked me if we got together after we found out.
Okay. Anything else?
No, not really.
And this was 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So they asked you questions to go over your testimony?
I mean, kind of.
Okay. But you discussed what was going to be talked about here on the stand today?
Kind.
If I'm wrong, that's fine.
I mean, kind of, but not really.
Explain.
Okay. But they asked you about the get-together, what you were going to be talking about on the stand?
I guess
Mr. Sand,
I'm
are you
not
going
really
somewhere with
sure.
this?
I'll move on to the next one.
I'm not sure what you're asking, I guess.
Do you recall an interview from March 10th of 2022 with Officer Talbot and a man named Steve Spignola from Cold Justice?
She doesn't remember doing Cold Justice?
You don't recall that?
Not necessarily.
Please answer the question. Do you recall it or do you not?
No.
All right. That means we get to bring in the prior inconsistent statement, possibly.
I showed you a transcript of that interview. Would that help you remember it, maybe?
Probably.
She keeps
better?
looking at the state before she answers. Which is quite interesting. Kaylee Rose, good morning. The way she said that does seem like she was concealing something or trying not to answer. How do you not remember being a guest on a TV show 3 years ago?
She's not reading the whole thing, Mr. Sand.
Well, I'm just trying to refresh her recollection,
Your Honor. And ask her the question if she remembers it now.
I mean,
Do you remember giving this interview? It was over the phone.
kind of.
Can I take this back from here?
Yeah.
It worked a little bit.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of remember it, but I mean, I can't tell you exactly what was said in the interview.
No, I'm just asking if you remember talking to Officer Talbot.
Yeah, I remember them
Justice.
calling me.
Do you remember telling Mr. Spignola you don't want any drama when it comes to being in the documentary?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? you remember him asking you if they could use what you were saying in the documentary
Yeah.
called Justice? Do you remember them asking you primarily about Nikki a lot, about Nichole?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you remember at the end of that interview, they wanted to make sure you were okay with them.
Objection has relevance, Your Honor.
Well, I'm not sure, but it's crossed, so I'll give him some leeway. Objection's overruled.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Do you remember your 2007 interview with Detective Barnard? I know that's a long time ago. You don't remember talking to him after Anita passed away? Just a couple of days.
I mean, I know I went in and talked to him, but I don't remember the interview.
Okay.
If I showed you a transcript.
Do you remember discussing Club 101?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said about Club 101? If I showed you that interview, might that help you remember?
I couldn't tell you.
Read that part right there, and I'll ask you about it.
She doesn't want to own up to what she said in the interview? Is that what's happening? She didn't know there'd be, scrutiny later on? Seems like she wanted to talk to the investigators and the TV, but not necessarily have it come back to her. Now it's the question. Do you remember telling the investigators?
Yeah.
Remember talking about a guy that was dancing with her at Club 101 that was grabbing her and you guys couldn't get him away from her?
Yeah.
Can you clarify who you're talking about? Grabbing whom?
Grabbing Anita, I apologize.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I can barely hear this defense attorney, Mr. Sands.
Do you recall that this interview had a lot to do with what happened at Club 101 and what guys you guys were hanging out with and Anita hung out with?
Yeah.
And then you had testified earlier that this new interview in 2022 with the Cold Justice, Steve Spignola, that centered much more on Nikki, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Two very different interviews.
Yes.
Long pauses here.
Those are the only questions I have. Thank you.
We're all going to come down to the strip.
Mr. Nelson, any redirect?
The fact that you talked to Cold Justice, did that have any impact on your testimony today?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Is she here by subpoena?
She is, Your Honor.
Did you have anything else, Mr. Sand?
No, sir.
Any objections to her release?
No, sir.
She can be released, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. You may come and go as you please.
That was a nothing burger.
Next witness, Ms. Sorgan.
Again, me, Your
I'm
Honor.
sorry, Mr. Nelson.
That's quite all right. The state calls Michelle Grubs.
was strange. All that did was put a question mark on
Mr.
on
Grubs,
that
have you
witness.
come up here, please? This
I don't know if
lady's
it
gonna
was
swear you
good.
an oath.
Well, I guess it was good for the state because she testified that before she told police that she was worried that her iPod would be missing.
Please have a seat over here then.
Yes, still deliberating. I'll keep an eye on that, though.
Go ahead and get yourself situated. We'd like you to aim the microphone at your chin. Looks pretty good.
Chin, okay.
Make sure the light's on the base there.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Mr. Nelson, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Michelle Moore.
What's your last name now?
My name is Michelle Moore now. It was Grubs previously when I was married, but I've been remarried since.
Okay. When did you get remarried?
May of 23.
Okay. And could you spell your new last name for us, please?
Moore.
All right. Now, Michelle, did you know both Anita and Nichole?
Yes.
How did you know them?
I went to school with them in Velva.
Okay. The last witness said that the graduating classes in Velva are around 30 students. Does that sound accurate?
I didn't graduate in Velva. I only went to Velva High School for 2 years, and then I finished out in Minot.
But it sound accurate that each one of the classes would add about 30 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a small
So you
school.
kind of get to know everybody in a town like that?
Yeah.
All right. Could you describe your relationship with Anita?
Anita and I were really close friends. We were best friends. She was like a sister to me.
Okay. When was the last time you saw Anita?
It was on June 1st, the Friday before it happened.
Okay. And by it happened, you're talking about her death. The
Her
murder.
death, yes.
Okay. What did you guys do that day?
I went to get a tattoo that day, and she was supposed to get a tattoo with me, but she chickened out. And then after we got the tattoo, we went up to Shots Crossroads to eat.
Okay. So she chickened out, and you went through with it.
Yeah.
So did you get the tattoo first, and then she decided she didn't want to do it?
Yeah.
What was the tattoo?
It's something I drew. It's got stars with like swirls on it and stars around it.
Okay.
And my name in it.
And then after that, you went and got something to eat?
Yep.
Where'd you go?
The Shots Crossroads truck stop.
So the truck stop that's open 24/7.
Yep.
All right. How long were you there?
At the truck stop?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Half hour maybe?
Just long enough to get something to eat?
Yeah.
All right. And then you parted ways?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the last time you saw Anita alive?
Yes.
Okay. Did you go to Anita's funeral?
Yes.
When was that?
I'm not sure the exact date.
About a week after the death?
Yes.
Okay,
I
that's
would
not
say
accurate?
yes. Yes, I would say that's accurate.
Did you talk to Nichole when you were at the funeral? Or after the funeral?
I believe I did, yes.
Okay. Did Nichole say anything to you?
She had thought that if they didn't find anybody, that maybe they would come looking for her.
What do you mean by that?
Happy
They would
birthday,
would
Ivan.
try to come after her for the murder.
So Nichole said that to you?
Yes.
Did you ever hear Nichole say anything negative about Anita?
Objection calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
It's statements from the defendant, Your Honor.
No, it's not. Objection sustained. Reword your question.
Your Honor, the question was, did you ever hear Nichole say anything negative about Anita?
All right, then I misunderstood your question. Objection is overruled. That isn't the way I heard it, but go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That's how I heard it.
I wasn't really good friends with Nikki, so no, I never really heard her say anything bad about Anita.
Okay.
Happy birthday. You look good.
Happy birthday, Ivan. Thank you, my
State has no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand, do you have any cross?
I do, sir. Michelle, thanks for coming in today. Was your last name Zayas at one time?
Yes.
Okay, good. I want to make sure I got the right person. We've got a few last names here. Thank you.
How do you spell Zayas?
Zayas.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall doing an interview with the Minot Police Department Detective Barnard on June 5th, 2007? I know it's a long time.
Do you recall a police interview?
That sounds about accurate.
Are you picking me up all right?
No.
I've had microphone issues here, so.
All week long.
Do you recall telling Detective Barnard that Saturday you were going to meet up with Anita to go to the movies, but you couldn't get in touch with her via text or call? If I showed you the transcript, would that be better?
Possibly, yeah.
So here's the front page of the transcript, just so you know. 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Refreshing a lot of recollection here.
Okay.
Do you recall that?
No.
No.
I can't
But
say
looking
that
at
I...
it, do you believe that you said that?
Yes, I believe I would have said that. Yes, I wouldn't lie to them.
Right.
If I said that we were supposed to go see a movie, yes, I would say that
Couldn't
would
get
be
in touch
accurate.
with her all day Saturday, isn't that true?
Right.
And that's referencing the Saturday. They found her body on Monday. That was the Saturday just before, correct?
Correct.
Now, this interview, I just put it in front of you. That was on June 5th.
Mm-hmm.
You were interviewed quite a bit, correct? There was another one on
A
June
couple
8th.
times, yes.
I have 4 times in my notes, if that
Okay.
sounds right.
Yep, that sounds about right.
The June 8th interview also had just been a few days after Anita's passing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall that, and this is a long time ago, but you met with Sergeant Goodman of the Minot Police Department on June 8th?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to have you, well, do you recall telling him that you know that Anita had been stabbed to death?
Yes.
Okay, and that was on June 8th?
Yes.
How had you found out that Anita had been stabbed to death?
I had heard through, I'm not sure if they actually told me or if it was from other people that had said it.
But you knew she had been stabbed to death on June 8th, 2007 in that interview?
Yes.
And most likely before that interview?
Yes.
Okay. So people knew that, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there was another interview. I know this is a lot of interviews in February of 2008. Do you recall that? I know this is a long time ago.
Right.
I've had to refer to these transcripts a lot. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
And this was Detective Barnard again.
Okay.
Okay.
Nichole, happy 16-month memberversary.
Do you recall conveying to him when he asked you about hostilities that there were little disagreements? But that
Yes.
was about it?
Yes.
There weren't any major issues?
To my knowledge, they were having fights and she was trying to move out of the apartment because of it.
The hammer of justice refers to the judge making rulings very
I show you.
forcefully.
Copy
Mm-hmm.
So after you've had a chance to review that, when the detective asked you if there were any hostilities, you thought there were little disagreements, but
Right.
you say they talked to each other still and paid their rent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Roommates.
Yeah.
Now, do you recall in that same interview, he asked you about a confrontation about someone's foot getting closed in the door? And you said you don't remember anything like that. You never heard anything about that.
Yeah, I do not recall that.
Can I show it to you real quick?
Sure.
Karen, thank you very much. 18 months. Thanks for the kind words, Karen. The cougher you're hearing has strep throat, so we're all going to get it, just so you know.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So again, just little disagreements between roommates.
Mm-hmm.
Every case has a sick lawyer. You can't just call in sick to work.
Do you remember an interview with Detective Talbot in 2022, a lot more recently?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure it was 2022. Well, I don't have it on my notes, but do you remember talking to Detective Talbot much more recently?
Yes.
I assume it was 2022. Do you remember Detective Talbot asking you about Nikki's demeanor in high school and what you knew about her? I know this is still 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Would it help if I refreshed your recollection again?
Sure.
Okay. So here's the cover page of the interview with Ms. Talbot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be asking you.
Might have to do a cough counter.
Okay.
Do you recall conveying that she was pretty nice in high school and friendly? You never had issues with her?
That is correct.
Okay.
I try to get along with everybody.
Do you remember saying, that's why I don't think she would do it either?
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Nelson, do you have any redirect?
I do, Your Honor. You testified on cross-examination that you'd been trying to get a hold of Anita because the two of you were planning to go to a movie, that you couldn't get a hold of Anita. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Was that unusual?
Was that unusual to not get a hold of her?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this might be an uncomfortable question, but your name has changed a few times.
Yes.
I'm assuming you've been married a couple times?
Yes.
Does that mean that there's been a couple of divorces as well?
That is correct.
Okay. When you've had those divorces, were there little disagreements that became big disagreements before those divorces?
Objection relevance.
With my
Ex-husbands?
ex-husbands? Not really. Like the first marriage ended because he just didn't, I don't think he was ready for marriage, and we got married like right out of high school.
Okay.
So we were young and stupid, you know. And the second marriage,
not the answer he wanted.
we were together for almost 12 years, and I just wasn't happy anymore. And
So things change?
yep.
Okay. So you don't see eye to eye necessarily, and then we need to have a change.
Yep.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
That was a swing and a miss.
Mr. Sand, any recross?
Just one, Michelle, and this is
ask
going
that
to sound
question?
ridiculous, but I have to ask it. You didn't murder any of your ex-husbands, did you?
No, they are both all alive and well.
Okay, thank you very much.
The right answer was not yet.
Is she hereby subpoena?
She is, Your Honor. She can be released.
Any objections, Mr. Sand?
No objection, sir.
All right, you may come and go as you please, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
The state should have known before they asked
State
that
calls
question.
William May.
That was funny, though. Hammer of justice, every time the judge comes down with a forceful ruling and corrects one of the attorneys or just lays down the law, we count it as Hagar's hammer of justice, because this is Judge Hagar. And we're up to 31 already.
Have you come up here,
on
Mr.
day
May?
4. You'll hear it when it
She's gonna
happens.
swear you an oath.
The hammer of justice cannot be denied.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Then go ahead and take a seat over here, please.
I'm keeping an eye on the snowplow trial. When we get a verdict in that one, if it
Once
comes
you're
in today,
situated,
we will
make sure the
pause
microphone
this
is
and
kinda
jump over
aimed at
to
your
it.
chin,
There will be no
and that
portal.
The light is on the base.
Okay, we good?
Okay. Mr.
Oh, my
Nelson, you may
goodness.
proceed.
Thank you,
Was
Your Honor.
his brother
Could you
in
spell,
Breaking
state your
Bad?
name for the record, please, and spell your last name.
William May, last name May, M-A-Y.
Okay.
His brother's in Breaking
Now, I'm
Bad.
just going to get this part out of the way here.
Yes,
when
sir.
we were preparing, doing trial prep, you told me that you had served our country overseas. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's correct.
And as a result of that, that you're dealing with some PTSD?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. That you have gone through some group therapy and things like that, group talking?
Yes,
Is that
I
accurate?
continue to do that
Okay.
just to help me.
And you're taking anxiety medications for that?
Correct.
Okay. Do those anxiety medications make it difficult for you to remember, anything like that?
Some things it does.
Okay.
I forget things.
Okay. With that in mind, if there's a moment when you need to take a moment, or if something's becoming a little overwhelming because of what you've been through, just let us know and we can pause for a second, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
It's Jesse
Now,
Pinkman.
Mr. May, how do you know Nichole?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Nichole?
I came back from Iraq and I met her through a party. I had a party and met her then.
Okay. And what happened next?
We just kind of hung out for a couple of weeks and, one thing led to another.
What does that mean exactly?
We started seeing each other more frequently,
Okay.
talking on a regular basis, hanging out. So,
Did it turn into a relationship?
I wouldn't classify it as that, but some other people might.
Like
I guess
her?
the question is, would Nichole have considered you her boyfriend?
That I don't know. I never asked, so I don't have the answer for you. So,
Okay.
I know I didn't ask her, so
You didn't
I didn't ask to be my girlfriend, boyfriend. So
You didn't do the 1950s thing and ask her to be your your girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was later in the 1950s.
But the two of you hung out for a while.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. The two of you ever hang out at a house party?
Yes, my house party.
All right. Do you recall that house
Me and
party?
her.
Yes. I don't know the exact day, but yes, I do.
If you could roughly tell us when this house party would have taken place.
It was probably Friday or Saturday. We were just hanging out, drinking.
I get that it'd be a Friday or Saturday night. It tends to be when house parties is. I'm guessing more asking, do you have maybe a month, a season, or a year?
All of
I
winter.
don't know. I came
2000.
back from Iraq in the summer of 2008, so it'd have been shortly after that.
Okay. At this house party, do you recall people talking about Anita's death?
Yes, so we were playing video games and we were sitting on the couch. Nichole and I were sitting on the couch and a couple buddies were playing video games and someone from the kitchen was talking about it and that's when it was stated, the comment.
When what was stated?
The comment was that from Nichole Rice, it was that she had did it, that she had killed Anita.
Nichole said that?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Now, a moment ago, you testified that you have been to group sessions with other veterans, and you still go to those group sessions.
Correct.
At those sessions, have you heard other veterans say that they have killed people?
Objection here, say, Your Honor.
Your Honor, it's not being offered for the truth of the matter asserted.
Overruled.
Yes, there's been people that have stated that.
When those people have said that they have killed people, was that said basically the same way as Nichole said it that night?
Correct.
Wow.
How did the I'm going to call it a situationship because it's not a relationship. Does that work for you?
That works for me, yes.
Okay. How did the situationship with Nichole end?
So the next day after it was stated, I called the police department, and from there, I gave my statement, same thing I just stated now, and that was the end of it. And then I just kind of cut all ties with Nichole completely.
And why did you cut ties with Nichole?
I'm in the service, was in the service at the time. I didn't need any of that stuff around.
When you were in the situationship with Nichole, did you talk to her about Anita's death?
I mentioned it one time. I asked her if she remembers saying it and if she could say it again, but nothing.
Okay. Did Nichole ever tell you that the Minot Police Department had cleared her?
Yes, that was mentioned to me, that she had been cleared.
That was from Nichole that said that?
Yes.
Okay. To you specifically?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, state has to
Mr.
come out
Sanders,
swinging here.
Cross-examine. You may proceed.
Nicole just found out that she didn't have a boyfriend. She had a
Couple of follow-up questions,
friend with
Mr. May. You
benefits.
said you had called the police department after this happened.
Correct, I did.
Who you talked to?
I have no idea who I talked to.
There's no records of you calling the police department. Are you aware of that?
I understand that, yeah.
Okay.
They've told me that.
Good. And then you spoke with them again after the documentary came out, correct?
Yeah, they called me.
Okay.
Mhm.
You understand they have no records of you ever calling the police
Correct, that's what I've been hearing, yes.
Please let each of you answer your question and
my
finish it.
apologies, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That was close to a hammer of justice, but it was very kind. I'll give that one a pass.
It's Detective Asham. Right here, you probably can't see behind the wall. That's who was on the phone with you.
Oh, okay.
You recall that?
Was that in after the documentary came out?
Yeah, that was in 2022. It was
Okay.
in preparation. Do you remember Steve Spignola being on that call with the documentary?
No.
Okay.
Happy birthday, Natalie, by the way, during the pause.
Now, this interview was a couple years ago, but it wasn't back when
And
a lot of these
Ivan.
interviews took place. Do you recall saying you lived in a house with a big group of guys?
Correct.
You were young and dumb. You'd have parties all the time.
Correct, yes.
You remember saying she was belligerently drunk?
Correct.
Do you remember you said you tried to follow up with her when she was sober? She wouldn't say anything about it.
Correct, yep.
Said she didn't do it.
She just said she didn't recall making that statement.
A drunk confession
You
to an
recall-
ex-boyfriend
I'm not going to ask it that way.
who wasn't
Steve
the boyfriend.
Spignola asked you if you thought Nichole killed her, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Steve Spignola is the documentary guy from Cold Justice.
Okay.
You remember saying, I don't think so, I don't think so. I mean, she can't even kill a mouse.
I mean, it's vaguely, yeah, I
Show
remember.
it to you.
Okay, yeah.
This is a transcript of the interview, just this Q2A here. Q2 is Steve Spignola, not the police officer. The Hollywood guy.
Okay.
Did he just answer your question? Not the Chiefs guy, the Hollywood guy.
I'm done.
Are they watching our live stream?
Do you remember saying that?
I remember now after reading it, yeah.
She couldn't even hurt a mouse? You don't think she did it?
I mean, I don't know. Anybody can.
But that's what you said.
Correct, yes.
You're telepathically linked to the defense team. It's amazing. He seems like a pretty believable witness. He's not oversharing. His mannerisms are the same with the state and defense. He has a believable story. It doesn't seem like he has a grudge against her.
Do you remember them asking you if you thought there might be anything else important? You said, I don't know, I think the maintenance guy might have done it.
Yeah, that was the rumor around town. It was that the maintenance guy did.
That's what you thought?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just going off what everyone else said.
Right. So then you talked about this, Nichole thought she was your girlfriend, but you didn't think you were her boyfriend type
Correct.
situation
Yeah.
back in the day. Did you ever hang out with Nichole again after that?
Correct, I did.
Tell me about that.
I ran into her at the bar after I come back from Afghanistan. And
2017 sound right?
yeah, roughly about then.
Okay. Tell me about that relationship.
I mean, I was told that she was cleared and everything was going well, and it ended because after like a month and a
You
half.
felt comfortable getting back together?
Correct, yeah.
You weren't scared of her?
No, after I was told that she had been cleared.
Right.
Then,
So you started dating again, right?
correct, yeah.
Did she think she was your girlfriend at that point?
We were boyfriend, girlfriend at that time, yeah.
She had checked the yes on the box on the note that he had given her. Will you be my girlfriend? Check yes or no.
I appreciate you serving our country. It sounds like it's taking quite a toll on you.
It has, I'm not going to lie.
A lot of therapy, a lot of medication.
A lot. I spent 90 days at St. Cloud.
What did you do at St. Cloud?
PTSD track treatment.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
War is hell.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Mr. Nelson, do you have any redirects, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. St. Cloud, that's the VA hospital there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, a moment ago, you were cut off by Mr. Sand. You started to say anybody can, and then you were cut off. What were you about to say?
Well, anybody can,
Objection calls for speculation, Your Honor.
He's not speculating to what he was about
Overruled.
to say.
It was your question, Mr. Sand. Go ahead.
Everybody has a mind of their own, so you can't really tell what one person's going to do besides the other. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. Now, who was it that told you that Nichole was cleared by the Minot PD?
Herself.
Okay. Anybody else?
Her father.
All right. Now, you testified that the defendant, when she made the statement that she had murdered Anita, was belligerently drunk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does that mean?
Intoxicated to the point where you can't drive.
I think there's a point before that.
Belligerent tends to mean angry. Is that the word that you meant to use?
Sorry, then I'm not using that. But she was just really, really drunk.
Okay. Have you, in your experience, been around other people that have been intoxicated?
Yes, I have.
Just in your life, and how old are you now?
39.
Okay. So you've been of legal drinking age for about 18 years?
For a minute, yeah. Yep.
And we're not going to ask about anything that before 21 and the statute of limitations would have run out.
No, let's not do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You've been around people that have been drinking.
Mm-hmm.
In your experience, does their guard kind of fall down a little bit when they're drinking?
Correct. For most people, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your experience, are they more likely to tell the truth when they've been drinking?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Now, the next day when you talked to Nichole about the confession that she gave that she said she'd killed Anita,
Mm-hmm.
your testimony on cross-examination was that she didn't remember saying that. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Now, I want to make this very clear. Did she say that she didn't kill Anita, or that she didn't remember saying that she killed Anita?
She didn't remember making that statement.
Okay. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand?
When you dated Nichole the second time, did you live with her?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Is the witness here by subpoena, Mr. Nelson?
He is, Your Honor, and he can be released.
Any objections, Mr. Sand?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And again, thanks for your service. Thank you. You are excused. You may come and go as you please.
Okay.
There was one hammer of justice in there when the defense was told, you can't object. That was your question.
Next witness, Mr. Nelson.
That one.
That'll be mine, Your Honor. State calls Christina Holler.
So we're up to 32 now. Next witness, Christina Holler. I have to say, that's some good testimony, I think, for the state.
She was
biggest-
originally Christina Imhoff.
All right. Ma'am, if you'll come up here, please.
Biggest area of doubt I have is the male DNA under
I'm
the
going to have this
victim's
lady swear you an
fingernail.
oath.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Then go ahead and have a seat over here, ma'am.
She's a quiet one.
So what was the last name you said, Miss?
Holler. Holler. I'll have her spell that, Your Honor.
Okay. Once you're situated, just kind of try to aim the microphone at your chin. Looks good. And then just make sure the light is on the base. Okay. You may proceed, Miss Surgeon.
Would you please state your name for the record?
My legal name is Christina Holler.
And would you please spell Christina? There's several different spellings.
Kristina.
Have you ever been known by another name?
And
Yes.
spell your last name.
Holler.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And have you ever been known by another name?
Christina Imhoff or Christy.
Okay. And could you spell Imhoff for the record?
Imhoff.
Christina, what state do you live in currently?
North Dakota.
Did you ever live in the city of Minot?
Yes.
Okay. How long ago did you live in Minot?
I lived there from 2005 to 2011.
During the time that you lived in Minot, did you know Nichole Thomas Rice?
Yes.
Okay. How did you know her?
I met her at a party.
Do you know approximately when that party was?
2008.
And do you know where the party was?
I can't give you the address. The person that rented it his name was Nick. He was at Air Force.
Okay. And can you describe how the circumstances under which you met Nichole?
We were at a party and she was crying, and I asked her what was wrong. She said she had been getting bullied about the anniversary of her roommate's death.
So what did you do?
I asked her if she needed a ride home.
Okay. And did you give her that ride?
Yes.
Okay. Did the two of you talk during that ride?
I am not sure if we didn't talk. I'm sure we talked during the ride home. We talked when we got into her apartment.
Okay. And did she tell you something during that conversation?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
That she had done it to her roommate.
What did she specifically state to you?
I'm not 100% word for word, but that she had gotten into an argument with her and had stabbed her.
Do you remember what she told you the argument was about?
An alarm clock.
Did she give you any other details about her roommate?
That she was wearing a white robe.
And she specifically stated that she stabbed her roommate?
Yes.
What did you do with that information?
I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. I went back to the party, told my friend that I wanted to go home. When I got home, I sat at the kitchen table with my two roommates and told them what happened and asked them what I should do.
And what did you decide to do?
I called the police department, told them that I had information, and then I went down and wrote a statement.
Okay. Do you remember who you spoke with at Minot Police Department?
I do not.
Okay. And this was in 2008, is that right?
Yes.
Were you ever given a copy of your statement after you wrote it?
I am not sure about that.
Seems believable. And it was in 2008. This is not the new evidence that would have
There's no
brought
record
charges.
of your having gone to the police department, correct?
Yes.
All right. When's the next time that you discussed this with the Minot Police Department?
2022.
Okay. And who'd you speak with?
Detective Carmen Ash. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to say her last name.
Asham?
Asham.
Okay. All right. Following that party and after you went to the police department, did you have any further contact with Nichole?
Yes.
And what was that contact like?
We hung out after that. We were friends. I would stay at her house. We had talked about being roommates.
Whoa.
Did that actually happen? That
No.
you became roommates? Okay. How long were the two of you friends?
3 months.
Why such a short period of time?
It got very controlling, fighting. Drinking was bad.
Drinking by who?
Both of us.
Okay. And when you say there was some fighting, what do you mean?
We would fight if I wanted to go hang out with my other friends. She would get upset about that.
Okay. And why was that?
I'm not sure.
Right. Do you know William May?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you know of his relationship, if any, with Nichole Rice?
They were only dating about, I think, a week when I had met Nichole.
Okay. You said that you were only friends with Nichole for about 3 months. Did the two of you argue?
Yes.
How did you argue? In person? Over the phone?
In person and through text.
And then the friendship ended, is that right?
Yes.
Do you know what caused the falling out?
We got into an argument. I'm not sure what it was about.
Okay. And how did it end?
I made a statement to her, and I walked out, and I haven't talked to her or seen her since.
Was there ever any physical violence?
Until today.
No.
Did you ever bring it up to her again about the fact that she had told you she stabbed her roommate?
I had given her and Willie a ride home from a party one time, and I had brought it up.
And what'd she say?
I'm not sure if that was the time that she said that she was in the white robe, or if it wasn't. I can't remember that. Okay. Sure.
So after she had confessed this to you and you went to the police department, why'd you continue to hang out with her?
I was a very selfish teenager. I wasn't thinking about the big picture. I didn't know Anita or any of the other stuff that had gone on. I can't answer for what my mindset was then. I just know that I was a young 20-year-old that was being very selfish. And I was drinking and just being young.
Now, Christy, you didn't actually go to the police department when you spoke with Sergeant Asham, is that right?
No.
Okay. You hadn't contacted the police, is that correct?
No.
How is it that you ended up speaking with Sergeant Asham?
She had called me saying that they had a tip that they needed to talk to me about. I was possibly her friend and had been at that party.
And that's when you gave the information again, is that correct?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Sam, any cross-examination, sir?
I do, sir. Thank you.
So the police are given a plate full of golden evidence and they just delete it or do nothing about it, throw it away?
When's the last time you talked to Willie May?
In 2022, I was going to have a statement with Detective Carmen Asham, and the day before the statement, I had gotten a friend request, and I had from Willie May.
Willie May friend request you
Yep.
the day before your statement?
Yep.
Okay.
And then
You know
just
that he used to be...
Please let her finish the answer.
I thought she was done. I apologize.
and then just asked me how I was, and I sent all of the screenshots to Detective Carmen.
And the state had asked you about reporting this back in the day, and there's no record of that. You understand that, correct?
Yes.
There's no record of either of you reporting this.
Objection, is there a question?
Do you understand that? I'll withdraw your honor. Now, this was a long time ago, correct?
Yes.
You said you were drinking a lot at that time, correct?
Yeah.
You've used the term you don't remember quite a bit under direct examination. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Now, under direct examination, did you say that you didn't live with Nichole?
I would stay with her after we would go out. We had talks about being roommates. I had my own place still. And I did not end up living with her.
Okay, but you guys stayed together a lot.
Yeah.
This is after the thing she told you.
Yes.
You recall this interview?
Yes.
Do you recall that when you talked to Detective Asham, she said that you said, I stabbed her. Is that accurate? Do you recall that?
That I said that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you recall saying, I apologize, I'm having a hard time remembering?
She had called me out of the blue and was asking me a lot of questions. And I was trying to put all the pieces together from, at that time, it was 15 years ago.
You said, I don't know, I know something about a white robe and an alarm clock. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
It's hard to remember all this stuff.
There's pieces that I remember and there's pieces that I don't.
So it's real important that we try to get this right. You understand that?
Yes.
Nicole's sitting right there.
Objection. Is there a question? This is badgering.
It's not overruled.
Do you recall saying in that same conversation, I'm not 100% on that?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any redirect, Ms. Sorgan?
Yes, Your Honor. Christy, you just told Mr. Sand that Sergeant Asham had called you up out of the blue and you were trying to put together pieces from 15 years prior. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You've had time to sit and think about this in 3 years since you've given that statement. Is that right?
Yes.
Are you sure you got it right?
Yes.
And Mr. Sand asked you about the thing that Nichole told you. What was the thing?
That her and Anita had gotten in an argument about alarm clock and that she was in a white robe and she had stabbed her.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Anything else, Mr. Sand?
Just quickly, Your Honor. I thought I was done.
Silence is deafening.
Based on the questions you were asked here, sounds like I'm getting a different answer than the state is getting. I'm going to go back to this because I have to clarify that. You said you weren't 100%, correct? We just brought that up.
100%. Can you say what the 100% was? Because in that statement, there was other things that I said I'm not 100% sure on.
Detective asked, you said I stabbed her. Is that accurate? You said, I think so. I apologize. You caught me off guard.
Yes.
And you said maybe she said I did it. Is that correct?
Yeah. In there.
It's important that we get this right. Can't change.
These long pauses are so dramatic. I'm not sure if they have the intended effect on the jury. So they have the
Detective Asham, if you would just watch the Cold Justice TV show about the case prior to the interview.
Yes.
What'd you say?
That was the second interview.
What did you say?
Yes.
You said yes, you had seen the Cold Justice
Yes.
documentary.
Yes. That week.
Further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Sorgan, anything else?
The jury has the added benefit.
Just briefly, Your Honor.
During a break of being able to see everything going on.
Ms. Holler,
in the
you were
courtroom.
just asked by Mr. Sand if you had watched the Cold Justice interview, and you said it was before your second interview, correct?
Correct.
Did that impact what you told Sergeant Asham at all?
No.
Thank you.
Last question, Mr. Sand. Anything else?
Nothing for me, Your Honor.
Is she hereby subpoenaed, Ms.
She
Sorgan?
is, Your Honor.
Is she excused?
Yes, she is.
Standing objections?
No problem, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. You may come and go as you please. Do you have another witness, Ms. Sorgan?
Your Honor, as we had indicated previously, we only have the 4 witnesses available for today. The rest are flying in over the course of the weekend and will be available on Monday.
Just a couple of things. I did note that Heathrow, I think is the correct term for the airport in London, had a big fire, so there was some crazy airport stuff going on over the globe.
Mm-hmm.
So please make sure that your witnesses can be here on Monday. Again, it's not even 10 o'clock today, so I'm a little disappointed in our timing. But again, maybe the jury will be happy with that. Is there anything until I let the jury go then, Ms. Sorgan?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand?
Nothing from us, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, again, the time is 38 minutes after 9 o'clock. I am going to let you go for the day, for the weekend. I want you back here on Monday morning at 8:30. We will start again at that
They're
time.
an hour after us. They're Central Time.
Again, don't always have control over the witnesses and the timing. So we will do our best, and hopefully this matter it is progressing fairly quickly. So I'm good for that. So my admonition to you, and this is going to be critical, again, as it has been every day when I've given it to you. Family and friends, people you know, I suggest again that you just avoid the media whatsoever, everything. It will be the only weekend in your life that you've never looked at the news, but this will be it. Do not converse with any witnesses, any party, or any attorney in this case concerning any matter. Direct any questions or discuss any problems you may have with the bailiffs. Do not read about, listen to, or view news accounts of this trial. Until you retire to deliberate your verdict, please do not discuss the case. Do not allow anyone to discuss the case with you, and do not use the internet or other electronic technology in any attempt to learn information about this case or communicate with your family, friends, or anyone else about this case. Please do not form nor express any opinion about this case until I've given it to you for your deliberations. Once again, I hope to repeat the instruction at each recess. If I fail to do so, it applies to you throughout this trial.
Kathy.
All right? The jury will be dismissed for the weekend.
Kathy, you make a terrible juror. You make a terrible juror. The judge said, what should I not watch? How do you spell that? And it's on Netflix, you say? Netflix. All right. Kathy, you're awful. Good morning, all. Wonderful. It's a quick day. We're going to jump over briefly. We are now just in deliberation. Jury's deliberating in the New Hampshire case. And so I think we're going to portal over to it and talk about it and anything else that's going on just briefly, because we're done with North Dakota for the day. So let's give them a second to leave the courtroom and make sure.
Will we recess till Monday?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sand?
Just for scheduling, Your Honor, I know things are getting a little wonky here. We're getting done at
Wonky.
9:30 this morning.
Yes.
Does the state have any idea what their plan is for calling witnesses next week?
Well, as
My
I
understanding is they have 4 witnesses on Monday for sure.
Yes, Your Honor, and then once those witnesses have concluded, then we plan on putting on Sergeant Asham, and then we plan on resting.
Okay, so again, we have 5 witnesses left. I presume that your witnesses should be available as soon as Monday afternoon, but more likely than not Tuesday. If you
Yes,
have
Your
1 or 2 that can be available Monday afternoon, just in case, that would be nice.
That's what we're trying to clarify. Thank you, sir.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Are your 4 witnesses on Monday going to be as short, Ms.?
We anticipate that they will be relatively brief, Your Honor.
Okay, so we should be getting to Officer Asham on Monday, more likely than not.
Oh, I anticipate that, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then that's good. So I would suggest, Mr. Sand, to have 1 or 2 available on Monday afternoon if you can.
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else before we break?
No, sir.
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Once again, I want to make sure we have the exhibits, so I don't think we have any new ones this morning. So the court will keep the exhibits over the weekend. That's it. We'll be in recess until Monday at 8:30.
Thank you, Your Honor.
There we go. All right. With that, we're going to portal over. Fanny Pack, congratulations, 17 months as a member. Thank you. Appreciate that. Your generous support makes it all possible. So thank you. I'm actually cool with this schedule. Yes, I am wearing my red Solo Cup shirt in honor of all the occasions in court. Thank you, Melissa, for the shirt, by the way. I don't want to work on the bathroom. I have. Here's what I have. Tonight, I have a live streaming gig where I'm live streaming a seminar on parenting, which I'm also sort of attending because I'm listening to the whole thing and I'm learning a few things now that my kids are mostly grown up, or like halfway grown up. So I'm live streaming the parenting class for a private organization, and then I'm live streaming. I'm running audio video for two meetings tomorrow, and then running a live stream on Sunday. The one on Sunday is big and hairy, and it's going to require almost all the equipment I own, and running dual streams simultaneously in multiple languages with live Spanish language interpretation, live professional closed captioning in English, and locations hundreds of miles apart that all have to be synced in and everything. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. But I might need a little bit of time to prep for it. So I love it. My company that I have that owns Recovery Addict channel. It's called Top Mark Media. I have the Top Mark Media channel on YouTube as well. And Top Mark Media, in addition to doing YouTube stuff, does corporate events, live streaming, audio, video, stuff like that. And that's this weekend just got really, really busy. So we're going to, I don't think we're going to portal. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to keep an eye out for what's going on in, let me move this right here. Hang on. Super source. We're going to watch what's happening in New Hampshire. Right now, it's just the jury deliberating. Let's see if this works here. I need super source. Box 2 is 3. Box 3 is 3. There we go. And box 2 is 7. I'm hearing a little bit of courtroom noise, just hiss. That's all. Anyway, we're going to keep an eye on the New Hampshire trial. That's the snowplow murder trial. The jury's been deliberating for, I don't know, roughly 4 hours ish, maybe a hair over that, a smidge over that, with some yesterday and now today. When do I sleep? Sleep usually on the weekends, but apparently not this one. So I can go to work on the bathroom. I probably need to. Who won the buttons contest? What was the magic number? 1,156, I believe, was the magic number. And I forget who won. Did we take care of the winner? What did the winner get? Oh, yes, we did. The winner got gifted an amount, and then they promptly turned around and donated that equal amount in memberships back to the channel. It was awesome. I don't understand New Hampshire. What the heck is taking so freaking long? Are they napping? Okay, let me first turn off this sound because it's terrible. Here's New Hampshire's issue. And we don't have a hammer of justice anymore. And quite frankly, we don't need the counter, even though the counter was up to 74 on the Kersey counter. Box 2 is off. There we go. New Hampshire is an interesting state. And sometimes we find this. there are areas everyone thinks about, Florida, Florida juries, they do Florida jury things. New Hampshire's an interesting state. They have the whole live free or die mentality, and they sort of stand out amongst their neighboring states for that philosophy. And so, not being from New Hampshire, I can look at it from my perspective of where I grew up and what was socially acceptable and what is not, and see the case and the facts in one way. And it might be completely different than how a jury of his peers, meaning Jason Levesque's peers, who was the defendant in the New Hampshire case, might look at this case and see it entirely differently. And it's very probable, and this is why we have a system where you do get a trial of jury by your peers and not some jury from over the seas or over by the king in London or something like that. He might have a sympathetic jury. They might look at that and be more in line with his rationale, saying, "Yeah, I was justified. This was self-defense." They might look at the facts and the occurrences as more of a totality. Whereas I look at it and say those were almost like two separate shootings. One that may have been justified, I'm not saying is, but one may have been justified, and then one where you fired 5 shots that clearly was not. For me, it's very clear. I've let you know that I think that if he had only fired one round, he probably would be walking out of that courtroom a free man. But the 5 after it, for me, would put me in the guilty category. Can you remind us what the jury got handed for charges? What were the lesser ones? We did not watch that part. I don't know exactly. I'd have to do the research, which I have not done yet. That happened while we were in North Dakota. I think there are 2 charges. So lead my bully to New Hampshire and take care of him there, and I could be let free. I'm not saying I would not recommend it. Not legal advice, at least not from me. But there are different areas. I mean, the laws are different. They do things differently there. Not just the way they operate court, because they have the whole defense goes first on closing, things like that. But the laws are written differently. See, pause on campfires, getting a t-shirt taking forever, order on March 6th, still have not received. I will look into it. We had one issue where a mug was delivered broken, and I'm doing my best to get that fixed. If it doesn't get fixed, Deanie, please let me know. We want to make sure everyone's happy with any merch they purchase through us, and if the supplier is not doing a good job, we want to get rid of the supplier. I need to put the plaque back on the wall. I need to plug in this. Here's what I need to do. I would have to plug in this device via USB to this computer, which is currently plugged in via USB to this device over here. So here's what I'll do. After this weekend, I have to take all this apart anyway. After this weekend, when I'm putting it back together, I'll fix the image if I remember. Let's see. Any thoughts, other trials? We haven't followed Karen Reed this week. Obviously, there's a little drama going on in that one. There's some extracurricular activities that have become more relevant. It was interesting to see a hearing with both Turtle Boy and Karen Reed at the same table in court, not under Judge Canoni, but some of that activity has moved up in the interest level. As far as Judge Canoni goes, I don't think anything has come as a surprise with what the judge has ruled on. It's been very consistent and, as some may say, terribly inconsistent with previous rulings, which seem to be slanted one direction or another. I'll say in this favor of the state. It's become more curricular, less extra. Let's see, Brian Koberger. Oh, Brian Koberger. The fun thing about Brian Koberger is now that I have my Brian Koberger evidence kit, which I also got from Amazon, we learned a few more details about the knife sheath and why they think it's relevant. This knife is actually plastic. It can't cut anything. Ow! I'm just kidding. This is a rubber knife. It's a training knife. It is a K-bar, so the size is appropriate for the sheath, and then this sheath is probably very similar to what Brian Koberger had, because it is in fact a K-bar knife sheath with the U.S. Marine Corps logo stamped on it, and it has the snap, the infamous snap, which had some DNA. It was tested. This snap is a very durable snap. It takes some effort to both put it together and pull it apart, and enough effort that it could easily collect some DNA from a bare finger. But a knife sheath was found. There was no weapon found, but if there was a weapon and if it was a K-bar, it would look something like this, although the blade would be silver and sharp. Usually the handle between these little black lines would also be leather, so it would be brown up through there. This one being plastic is all black. 7-inch blade. I tweeted out a picture earlier. No, you guys don't know how big my hands are, so if I hold this and hold it up next to my life savings, you can see size-wise that it's a huge blade. It's a massive blade. It's going to be very interesting to hear about how it was used, specifically on the victims and the type of injuries. But we do expect that it will probably be that the knife wounds are single-sided because only one side of the blade is sharp. Sometimes a K-bar can have either on the top or even on the bottom, depending on who makes the blade, some very jagged edges, almost useful for sawing or cutting, like a saw for cutting a tree branch or something. So depending on the version, we'll know the version of knife based on the wounds, because if it's on the back side, we'll know that it has those, and I'll show those if it becomes pertinent during the trial. But we did find out through the documents that it's serrations, but it's not like a knife serration. Like you think of like a bread knife in your kitchen and how it has little curves on the sharp edge. These are barbs. They are it's a wave design, but it's not. It's more, each point is the sharp bit, not the space between. I might have to get a sample of that for you. It's wilderness survival stuff or killing people stuff. Like a saw. Yeah, much more like a saw than a knife. Anyway, you can break wire with them, like barbed wire. Yeah. RA is 20 $10 bills tall. Angelique says, I lost a $10 bill during Portal. Do you know the serial number? This one has 3 9s in a row. Does that make it worth more? All right. Anyway, we've got a lot of stuff going on in the Brian Koberger case. Particularly of interest is the fact that defense is asserting that he has some degree of autism, so much so that it rises to the level where it would be unconstitutional for the state to pursue the death penalty against him because of that disability. That's going to be interesting to hear. Obviously, you're going to have some expert testimony on that, some sort of medical testimony, doctors testifying that it exists. A lot of people are on the spectrum. A lot of people that are that have some degree of autism function at a very high level, and it doesn't impede or rational thought process to the point where they couldn't understand that stabbing someone to death is bad. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure if that's going to be a winning argument for them, especially because they might struggle to have any indication that may have existed prior to this event or this time period. Now it's fine that it can be undiagnosed until now, but he's going to college. Wasn't like a TA in a college class. He's very smart. He's functioning well. It's going to be interesting to see how they portray him now as relating to the autism, and then how that matches up with medical records and any testing and activity that happened. Hey, where are you going? Love you. Have fun at the library. Sorry, he's going to the library to get the rest of the books that she hasn't got yet. Anyway, that's going to be interesting. Let's see. Another picture came out that reportedly Brian Koberger took a selfie in the bathroom, which is sort of creepy, like a buttoned-up white shirt. A few hours, 4 hours or so after the murder, like the day of, the day the police were there, there's this selfie. His hand is in the picture. I believe it's his left hand. I'm not sure if the image is reversed or not, but obviously the first thing I went to looking at the image is, are there cuts on his hand? You know, because in a knife altercation, sometimes the knife injures both the attacker and the victim. And there could be arguably some marks on the hands that are interesting. So it was, I will say the picture's a little creepy. And it was a bathroom selfie, which I am not a fan of. I'm sorry. I realize there's a mirror there. There are other ways to take your own picture without taking your picture in the bathroom mirror like that. Let's see what else. What else is fascinating in the world of true crime that we need to discuss? Somebody wrote a letter to the Court of Appeals in the Karen Reed case. Basically, I think it was an unsigned letter. I don't believe there was a name on it, but they wrote a letter just as a member of the public saying, "Hey, this is not fair. The judge has been unfair. She's been biased throughout all this. Karen Reed is being framed." That letter is now public record. Irvin Beasley says, "I went through 5 years of college and wasn't diagnosed until 12 years post-grad." I'm fine with that. I mean, I would not be surprised if many of us in chat, if we actually got tested, would find out that, to our surprise, we were on the spectrum. And that's cool. I'm not sure how beneficial it is with it just coming out now, and how I think there would have to be some sort of symptoms or record or behavior, some analysis, some doctor's notes that indicate a potential for that beforehand. Otherwise, it might just. I don't think the jury's going to put a lot of weight, or the judge will put a lot of weight behind it. Let's see. I want to read that letter. Can you grab it? Yes, I will. I will put up the letter. We've got time today. Let's do that here now. Got the motion to stay. Karen Reed civilian letter. Let's do that one. Send it over here, shall we? All right. Bring it up right here. This is reminds me almost of a Sarah Boone letter, going back to a handwritten letter. Can you all see this? Does that work for you? Make it a bit bigger so I can read it as well. This is dated March 18th, 2025, so a very, very current letter. And this is filed in the clerk's office of the U.S. District Court in Massachusetts, the one that's basically that heard the arguments for Karen Reed's trial made by the defense. So this is not Judge Cannoni. This is the appeals court. All right. Could you please look into the case Commonwealth v. Karen Reed? This case is... Oh, hang on. First of all, my view needs to be continuous or else it goes nuts. Okay. This case is so corrupted. Kenton PD, MSP, Michael Morrissey and his employees, Judge Beverly Cannoni, this poor Karen Reed has been framed. The CPD nor the MSP never secured the scene where John O'Keefe was found. Finding a body on someone's lawn is a very serious situation. They never secured the area where the body was found. The Canton Police and MSP never entered the house because it was the house of a police officer. All MSP did was frame Karen Reed. If that was someone else's house, that house would have been searched. Judge Beverly Canoni is not fair, not giving this lady a fair trial. There was jury tampering, conflicts of interest in this case with the Judge Canoni and Michael Proctor. Judge Canoni picked the jury foreman, a Massachusetts state police officer. So many times during the first trial, Judge Canoni would send the jury out of the courtroom so they couldn't hear a lot of the stuff that was going on. Judge Canoni also allowed some of the witnesses to attend closing arguments, and they sat where they are directly looking at the jurors to intimidate the jurors. This is the most corrupt case in Massachusetts. Serious concerns regarding bias, failure to adhere to legal standards, and inappropriate courtroom management, all of which undermine public confidence in the judicial system and the right to a fair trial. Specific allegations of misconduct, bias, and appearance of impropriety. Judge Canoni's rulings have consistently favored the prosecution, violating Massachusetts Code of Judicial Office fairly and impartiality. Could you please watch the first trial and see what really happened? She allows the Commonwealth all of the motions they want during the first trial. She never did a full day of trial. All of this is a waste of time and costing the state so much money. The whole case is too unfair. Conflict of interest with Judge Canoni and Michael Proctor with the people involved in this case. So many rules have been broken. Failure to follow Massachusetts legal precedent. Miss Reed is being framed. Just think that Miss Reed could have been a person, could have been a family member of yours. 3 years of this going on, and they framed her because they didn't think she was going to put up a fight. The most corrupted case. Okay. Let me break this down for you just a little bit, because although the sentiment of this letter may be felt by a lot of us, there are a few fallacies in here that first of all, the court is going to look at this and say, you have no standing before us. And so, yeah, it goes in the file, but it goes in the circular file as far as our thoughts and consideration goes. Next. So please look into the case. All right. The case is so corrupted. Canton PD, Michael Morrissey and his employees, Judge Canoni. Okay, that's just naming names, but it gives no evidence yet. This poor Karen Reed has been framed. The CPD nor the MSP never secured the scene where John O'Keefe was found. That's one of the only allegations that's actually spelled out here. Finding a body on someone's lawn is a very serious situation. They never secured the scene, the area where the body was found. The Canton Police and MSP never entered the house because it was the house of a police officer. That is an assumption. It's a very easy to believe assumption, but I don't think they said we didn't do it because of that. All MSP did was frame Karen Reed. If that was someone else's house, that house would have been searched. This is the argument saying that supporting they didn't go in because it was a cop. Reasonable, but no evidence to back it up that they can act on. Judge Beverly Canoni is not fair, not giving this lady a fair trial. That's a conclusatory statement. There was jury tampering, conflicts of interest in this case with Judge Canoni and Michael Proctor. Once again, that's the conclusion. Judge Canoni picked the jury foreman, not a problem. Judges are allowed to pick the foreman. A Massachusetts state police officer. I didn't know that. I'm not sure if that's true. It might be. I would be surprised. I would be very surprised if defense allowed a Massachusetts state police officer on the jury. That seems like new information to me. I'm not sure if that's true. They would strike that person in a heartbeat, I think. So many times during the first trial, Judge Canoni would send the jury out of the courtroom so they couldn't hear a lot of stuff that was going on. This is exactly what the judge should do. The judge should send the jury out of the courtroom when they're arguing about stuff, because the judge has to rule and see if evidence should come in or not. Now, we can disagree with her ruling, but the jury should not hear that. Judge Canoni also allowed some of the witnesses to attend closing arguments, and they sat where they were directly looking at the jurors to intimidate the jurors. There are laws that actually protect victims and family members of victims that afford them the right to be in trial. to watch the proceedings. And if they were released from their subpoena, and they aren't in that category, they also would be able to attend trial, just like you or I could, or any member of the public. This is the most corrupt case in Massachusetts. Serious, I would say there are some others that might fight for top spot in Massachusetts. Serious concerns regarding bias, failure to adhere to legal standards, and inappropriate courtroom management, all of which undermine public confidence in the judicial system and the right to a fair trial. I can see why there's the public undermining public confidence shows up, but I don't think anything here could be acted upon by the court. Specific allegations of misconduct, bias and appearance. Oh, this is number one. Nope, it's just specific allegation of misconduct. 1, bias and appearance of impropriety. Judge Cannoni's rulings have consistently favored the prosecution, violating Massachusetts Code of Judicial Office fairly and impartiality. This assumes that a judge, to be fair, has to grant equal number of objections from each side, which is not the truth. The judge rules on each objection based on its merit, or should. If one side makes good objections and the other side makes bad objections, the judge could rule entirely in favor of one and against the other and still not be improper. So that's that one. Could you please watch this first trial and see what really happens? As a matter of fact, they cannot. They will not. Even if they do take this under consideration, they will not rewatch the trial. They would look at the transcript of the trial and they would look at the arguments that were presented and the citations in the transcript relating to that, and that's what they would make their decision on. She allows the Commonwealth all of the motions they want. During the first trial, she never did a full day of trial. She never did a full day of trial? I seem to remember many full days. She allows the Commonwealth all the motions they want. That's I think that's perception, and I think that goes to merit as well. So motions, objections, things like that. Whether she might summarily overrule motions from the defense, but that could also be on merit. The whole case is too unfair. I would say that any amount of unfairness is too unfair. Conflict of interest with Judge Cannoni and Michael Proctor with people involved in the case. That exists. I'm not sure. I think it's something for the jury to consider. So many rules have been broken. Failure to follow Massachusetts legal precedent. Judges can break from precedents, but they stand a high chance of being overruled in appeal. Miss Reed is being framed. Just think that Miss Reed could have been a person, could have been a family member of yours, been any person. That argument, you could have been related to the defendant. Yeah, everyone thinks it was not their family member until it is, right? 3 years of this going on, they framed her because they didn't think she was going to put up a fight. That's conclusatory opinion. The most corrupted case. There you go. Not the most well-written, but it was written, and now it's been read. So unfortunately, those sort of letters going to the appeals court go in the file and in the circular bin as far as consideration. But sentiment is shared by many, including myself, in many of those areas. Let's see. I think the writer makes valid points. They're valid points, but they're not things that the Court of Appeals can act on for a couple of reasons. First of all, the writer does not have merit in the case. They don't have standing in the case. Where it's, imagine if you, let's see, what's a good example? Let's say the Federal Aviation Administration came out with a new law saying that pilots have to be 7'5" or taller. New rule. And I file my motion all the way up to the Supreme Court, which you can do as an individual, and saying, I object, this is not fair. I am not 7 feet tall. I have never been a pilot. I have not taken any action ever to be a pilot. I've not gone through training to be a pilot. I've not gone through schooling. I am not the one harmed by this rule. And the Supreme Court would look at this letter, and I might raise a million valid points and say, you're right. That's not fair. That's definitely you're discriminating against classes of people by physical characteristics that should have no relevance in this matter. They might say pilots have to be small enough to fit inside the plane, and there they might have an argument. But they look at my argument, no matter how valid it was, and say, I'm sorry, you don't have standing in this case. We can't hear it from you. Somebody else might be able to file this, okay? And they have. Karen Reed's team has gone to the Court of Appeals and said, we have issues with what happened in this first case. We have issues. We think double jeopardy is something that should be considered here. I think jeopardy applies, and that this is her getting tried again for the same crime when the first jury came up hung. We have issues with these things. They've raised those issues, and the court will look at them because they do have standing, but they can't look at this in either way. I don't believe they raised arguments of corruption. Are you growing your beard back? I am right now. It's just starting. I'm going to do goatee first, so I need to trim just a wee bit more, but it's just starting. The judge denied the defense request for a continuance pending the federal court's ruling. Didn't they file that didn't they file a request for a stay, like an order from the appellate court to hold? I thought I saw that paperwork. That would not be Judge Beverly Cannoni that makes that decision if that's the case. It would be a higher court ordering the lower court to wait while they rule on something. Usually, I would say the upper court, instead of waiting, would say we might just make an expedited decision so that our decision comes in before the schedule of the lower court begins. They did file the higher court order to stay. I think that just barely happened. Both sides asked for continuance before the first trial as well. Tyler Fair says, can my wife get a birthday shout out? Yes, Tyler, but we need her name. Of course, now you've got is slow mode on? Let's see if I can turn slow mode off for a second. We've got a bunch of people in here. Don't all type your wife's names at once. No slow mode. You can just type it now. Go ahead. Tyler, what's your wife's name? We need to sort of sing to a couple people again. We've got Ivan. Let's see, was it Natalie? And Chelsea. Happy birthday to Ivan, Natalie, and Chelsea. Her name is Tyler's wife. Happy birthday to everyone who's celebrating. We sang this morning, but have a happy birthday, all of y'all. Thank you. Enjoy your birthday. Tyler, do something special for your wife. Ivan, do something special for you. And was it Natalie? Who was the other one? Who was the other one? I thought it was Ivan or Natalie. Allison missed the drum solo this morning. Anyone else hear any evidence linking Rice to murder besides cops feeling off-put by her attitude and coworkers seeing she seemed off? There have been two people now in the trial with that were acquaintances with Nichole that say that she confessed to the murder to them. So we've had two of those. We've had a couple police officers, or at least one police officer, her boss, who interacted with her in the moments when they first found out, like the public first found out that her roommate had been murdered, and the response she gave was quite different than expected. I would say it was indifferent. The police called her work and said, we need her here right now. Release her from work, send her home. The boss is like, all right, and went and told her, and she's like, yeah, whatever. And she didn't go. And then they called back and they said, release her from work right now or we will send someone to pick her up. And she's like, fine. And she went there. When she got to the apartment, she walked in. She's like, my iPod's missing. First thing, my iPod's missing. Pink iPod should be right here. It's not here. Is that a problem? Only because she told somebody before that you better not find that her iPod's missing, because she'll be so mad if she goes to the crime scene and the iPod's missing. So yeah, there's some issues with her behavior that seems suspicious. She apparently had motive. They apparently fought before. She told one of the friends that the victim was wearing a white robe. I'm not sure if that was public knowledge, but it could have been, because there were members of the public, both the manager of the apartment complex, the maintenance guy for the apartment complex, who was boyfriend of the manager, and her dad, that all were at the crime scene, in addition to police officers and Nichole. Nichole apparently never looked in on Anita's room, and it was all cleaned up anyway, but she knew what she was wearing. Interesting. I think she got through the window, cutting the screen. Anita's bedroom had a separate lock. Why did she leave the knife? Just to not leave any evidence? It doesn't sound like a planned murder. It sounds, I mean, if it was a fight over an alarm clock. Whoa, right, robe? Yeah, there was a white robe. Did I say white robe? Robe. Any verdict in the snowplow case? No, we are still waiting for a verdict to come in. Jury's deliberating right now. I don't remember where my iPod went. I had an iPod Shuffle as well, which was just the coolest thing ever until iPhones came out. Will Nichole take the stand? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it on this one. I don't see how it would help her. What I'm looking for in this trial is I want to see what new evidence came that caused them to now file charges. Whereas before, we had officers who retired as this being the only case in their entire career where they had not filed charges or proceeded, either closed out the case. If it's the only one, why now? After the TV show, what came to light now that they didn't have before? Was it the fact that these two witnesses we saw today, the two last ones, the Jesse Pinkman lookalike and the Uber rider home from the drunk party, both said that she admitted to the crime to them, and that those records don't exist at the police department? They both called the police. They both said, hey, this is what happened back in 2008, and nothing was done about it. Is that the new evidence that they have now? It is all circumstantial evidence. I want to know why Nichole confessed if she truly didn't do it. Drunk. Drunk is the answer on both of those questions for both of the people. Who's the girl on the stand? Just a friend? Was she involved possibly? No, the last witness on the stand, that was an interesting one, because she was, when Nichole was at this party that the military veteran had thrown once he came back from service. She's at the party. She gets pretty drunk. By his account, so drunk that she couldn't even drive. The friend offered to give her a ride home, and during the ride home, she reports to the friend that she did it, and at some point also says that it was a fight over an alarm clock and she stabbed her, and she was wearing a white robe. Separately, and I think before that ride, also while drunk, Nichole had told the military veteran who testified that she had done it and that she was the one responsible for the murder. So those two people, that's the connection. Let's see, anything else? Tomorrow is my Sunset Strip birthday. Last year was my trombone birthday. I don't know what that is. Is it something I should not Google? I don't believe either of the last two witnesses. I think the seed was planted by the TV program. Peter, is that why that's your explanation, or that's the explanation you have for why the police don't have a record of the complaints, that they never happened? Still can't get over talking about the missing medallion on the knife. That information is only known to the killer. Even the detectives once said they brought it up, and they said, "Oh yeah." What we have here, the knife, the testimony we had, and trust me, I've looked for this knife. I would have bought one to show you if I could find one. I've been on eBay, I've been on Amazon, I've been on knife collectors pages. I've scoured the internet. I've used AI to try to find it, and I can't find a version of this knife specifically that said it was Buck brand. Okay, Buck is a knife maker. It's not on like the high end. It's not like a butterfly or something like that. But it's a common brand of knife. They make hunting knives, pocket knives, and skinning knives, things like that. It was a folding knife that was probably like a commemorative edition. So I'm thinking like the Buck 110 model, which was pretty common, and that was made often for like special runs, like collectors or like a special version of the knife. It's the same design. They just put something fancy on it, or put an Indian head on it, or put a silver coin on it, or a stamp. Or there are many, many versions of that. But the detective said that it was a cheap knife, and it was probably mass-produced and made poorly, and that's why the medallion fell off. If the medallion fell off one, it was probably going to fall off on many others as well. So it could be a coincidence that way. Anyway, I'd like to see the knife a little closer, and I'd like to order one just so we can get an idea what it looks like. Devin knew the medallion was missing from the knife. How could he? Barb, if it's a poor design of knife, this is what I'm getting at. I had a knife that was made by Gerber. Okay, Gerber and Buck are Gerber is also a baby food company, but I think it's a different arm of the company. They make some, what I'd say, are inexpensive knives. They fall probably under the $40 price range, where others can be hundreds of dollars. But I've had a couple Gerber knives, like the Gerber Easy Out, which is a skeletonized aluminum knife frame. So it's lightweight, has a little clip carried on my belt, and it has a thumb hole. You can pop it open really quickly. It's a semi-serrated blade. It works great. That knife has a flaw where the hinge on the knife, the screw comes loose, and it's on one side. That's just a flaw in the design. It could be that the medallion knife was made that one side, the medallion, just is not attached very firmly, and by design, it just comes loose. The whole issue is the detectives didn't even realize that it was missing until he brought it up. That places him inside the locked room with the murder weapon, doesn't it? Yes, other than the fact that I believe he was in Montana at the time. That's our only hurdle we have to get over with him. They believe that he was in Montana, and incredibly so, at the time of the murder. Now, it's possible that that the time of death was wrong, but that's why we had the parents testify and say how often they had contact with their daughter, and when they couldn't reach her, what was the problem. If the time of death was wrong and the police got that wrong, that could open up the availability of witnesses differently. We're doing more court today. If the jury comes back in New Hampshire, yes. If not, we might be done early, which might work for me because I've got to tear a whole bunch of equipment down and build it for this weekend. He was supposedly far away at the time of the murder. Did he know about what he knew about the knife? I think he was shown a picture of the knife and said, "Do you have a knife like that?" And he said, "Yeah, but mine's missing the medallion on one side. That's my knife." I'm not sure how that conversation went down. We might hear about that because isn't that Mr. Hall? I think that's Mr. Hall, who is currently serving time for another crime unrelated to this. The defense has won their argument, their motion to get him as a witness, so he will testify for the defense over Zoom from his place of incarceration. So I'm sure we're going to hear more about that knife that way. But at the same time, I don't think he's going to be like, yeah, it was me. I don't know why you're charging her. I did that one. It's not going to be that sort of testimony. So I'm not sure how helpful he's going to be for the defense. All right, I need a 3D printer for evidence so I can make it myself. Any trial we watch should have a warning because it's live and who knows what will be said or shown in court. I'm not a person who needs a warning, but for those who need it. Yeah, here's your warning. We watch live court cases and things happen. And they're shocking things, big enough things that we have made laws to say those things are illegal. And we talk about them and show pictures about them. Mel says, if we quit early, what am I going to listen to clean? This might be a good time to go back and watch Grizzly's deep dive into this. Grizzly True Crime Channel did a deep dive into the North Dakota case that covers a ton of this. And she does a fantastic job on these deep dives, preliminary stuff. So if you haven't watched that, that's something I would recommend today. When live things happen in court, RA's reactions are what it's all about. Let's see. Let's see. Valhalla Awaits. I think, is he doing a live baby goat stream right now? I think he's got some baby goats on his farm. We jumped to that the other day. Melissa texted me. She's the one that sent me this shirt. She loves it when I wear it. I like the shirt. It's, red solo cup. Feel at home at Canton. Emily D. Baker or Lawyer or Mel. Lots of options. But if you tear it down, how would you be able to play verdict music? Here's what I would do. I would tear down everything that I don't need everything I'm using right here. I would tear down this part, but I don't need everything I'm using right here for tonight. I don't need that till Saturday and Sunday. So I'd tear down part of it. I'll be building it like 11 o'clock tonight. So love when you all support other channels, Class Act. Alyssa, I've said this before. We don't allow links to other channels. Like, you can't just come in and spam channels that way. And we're selective about, even among members, when somebody says, hey, I have a YouTube channel, can you shout me out? We're very selective about what we do, because I realize people's timelines are special places. And just flooding it with a whole bunch of stuff is not good for everybody. But as far as LawTube and LawTube adjacent channels like my own, there is room for everybody. There are so many people who have different opinions, different delivery styles, different ways to view things. The way I do it is not perfect for everybody. Some people don't like that I make comments now and then, and I get that every single time I make a comment during trial and might talk over somebody. I get a comment about it. It's like, you should shut up during the. I hear it. Maybe that's not for you, but this is how I watch trial, and I try to provide it in a way, especially audio and visually wise, that's the easiest to hear and most fun environment to hang out in. But there are other people who look at what I do and say, I would do that completely different. And they do. And that's great. And if that's your person, I love it. I love that there's another angle. I love that there's somebody else who thinks differently from me, who's looking at the same evidence and maybe coming to a different conclusion. YouTube is great that way. And I think that instead of like tearing each other down and trying to, trying to hoard viewers, I think it's better if we say, look, find the place that works for you, and be there. I'd rather you're with another channel that you just love how they present than be here and hate it. I'm not so hungry for the $4 I would get per 1,000 of you that sit here for an hour to want you to watch court in a place you don't like it. So you missed my Lego build. What was it? How did you do? I built a picture of Valhalla Waite's profile picture using 2,406 Lego pieces, and it was a goat, a 48 by 48 mosaic goat. All right. Mavia, member for 6 months, says, hey, if you want a real K-bar, I can hook you up. I have a few of them. Don't ask. I looked at them. Some of them are quite expensive. And this black one was $9. So that was right in the budget. And the sheath actually cost more than the knife in this case. But thank you. I appreciate the offer. I don't really have a use for a K-bar. I'm not active in the hunting world, and I'm not good enough with a knife that I would consider it for self-defense unless it was last resort. But thank you for the offer. It sounds awesome. Any birthday plans this weekend? Oh, birthday's on Monday. Birthday's on Monday. I have no plans for my birthday this weekend. I don't know what we're going to do on Monday. I didn't realize it's coming up so quick. Mrs. Ari probably is going to make me a cake. I'm going to ask for it to eat it upside down in a bowl with milk. The cake upside down, not me. But yeah, that's... Viewers are going to jump between channels anyhow. No need to hoard. Bap, you're 100% right. It's more than that. It's not just like hoarding viewers. I have benefited so much from amazing channels that didn't need to take their time to help me in any way. Rob and Lawn Lumber, I'm not just talking to shout out to the channel and saying, hey, he's a good guy, you should watch court with him, which I super appreciate. But talking on the phone with me, giving me advice as a content creator, saying, hey, just be careful in this area, and I'd recommend this. He didn't have to do that. It's awesome. It's awesome. Ian, Rob, Kurt. I've got advice from Emily D. Baker that I've taken, even though it was indirect, about my channel specifically. And Peter Tragos. They've been amazing channels that I've benefited from, even if it's just watching and listening to how they present and how they think and how they analyze. I would be remiss to then not try to pass on anything I can or help somebody else that really deserves it. So I know I didn't deserve it. All right, let's see. There are 8 billion people in the world. There's more than enough of us to go around the many stations. There are a ton. We try to keep it family friendly. I need to do better at that. I realize that listening to murder all day, every day, I got some criticism recently, which I appreciate. First of all, I do appreciate the criticism. You won't see me deleting comments that are critical of my channel on YouTube, because I think it's important for me to be aware of what other people think about and how they feel, because I realize that I can become callous to something over time, and I think I have. And somebody made the comment that when you first began, you wouldn't cover a case like this, and it was true. And so I'm being a little reflective, looking at my choices. I don't want it to corrupt me from what I am, because I do think that my personal beliefs and my boundaries are what's shaped the channel. I'd like to be consistent and true to that. So I do appreciate that. I have a whole collection of K-Bar and others from my ex. That is awesome. K-Bars are probably the most well-known knife as far as the design of the knife. They've been making them forever, but they're incredibly it's the Rambo knife, right? What is the documentary everyone here in the trial is talking about? That's Cold Justice, and it's episode 16 and 17. I forget the numbers. It's 2 consecutive episodes. Let's see. Laurie, I just thought I wanted to be clear. Not everyone's heard that I like milk with just about everything I eat. That one got really spicy. I realized it was a long trial. Long trials are actually good for the channel. it helps our numbers grow a ton when we have a long trial. But that's one I'm glad we passed up, even though it's a month long. I realize most of you, I know the metrics, right? I could share them with you if you wanted. But most of our audience is in the 45 or older range. About 83% of you are female. And knowing that, I realize most of you are what we would consider yourselves adults, let's put it that way, and can handle adult things as far as topics. But I also know that there is a small, but very present and very alert and watching members of the audience that are in school, that are parents that are showing their children court in a way that they feel it's a safe environment, as safe as it can be to expose them to the judicial process, and doing it basically for educational reasons. And I try to always keep it as clean as we can for them so that there are no surprises. How many viewers are live versus rewatches? These are some fun numbers. I'll give you some of the numbers. Just one second. The average viewer on my channel watches for 41 minutes a day. So if you watch for more than that, that's why I repeat myself, because the average viewer stops in when they can. Sometimes it's on lunch break, sometimes it's just in passing. A lot of them watch for more than that, but the people that just drop in for a minute, just clicking the like button and then leave, that's all measured in. So average viewer audience. In a given month, I might have 40,000 or so people watch the channel. 30,000 of them are returning viewers, meaning a lot of people are coming back to watch, which is good. I get about 500,000 watch hours a month, unless it's a really good month, and then it can be higher. Let's see. There are 3.2 million impressions, so that's how many eyeballs see my thumbnail. I do terrible on click-through rates. Let's see what else. Subscribers. Yeah. That's about it. Anything else you wanted to see? Most of them are live. I can't see where the live goes. Buttercup watches for closed captioning theft tips, or for CC theft tips. I don't know what the CC stands for. I should, but I don't. Thank you, Rebecca, for that. Click through to ads. I think the click-through rate has to do with how many times somebody sees my thumbnail and decides to click it and follow it, and it's around 7 or 8%, which is, I think, poor, but I'm okay with that. It's my first time visiting the channel. BAP, welcome. It's good to have you here. Some of us hit the thumbs up every day we watch. I don't get all the detailed metrics I'd like to about the audience, because I like to learn about you and provide what you guys want. Blackbird says, remember your spirit of helping others when I start my crime channel in a couple years. All right. Hit me up if you need some advice or anything. That is a good view count. I'm blessed beyond what I deserve, Lindsay Bay. I really am. I'm so grateful for this audience. I often wonder why they come, because I don't think I deserve the support and the audience that I've found very, very quickly here. I missed Golden Girl's milestone. No, Golden Girl. Hang on a sec. I love that I can go back and get them now. Golden Girl OG, 26 months. We love you best. Thank you very much. Sarah Boone has another letter to family court. Wow. Anita, Alita Lay, I might have to look at that one. Frida Bay, member for 23 months. Another OG. Thank you very much. Good morning. Amy Kimball, member for 19 months. Welcome to the gallery. Been in and out with this trial. What's your vibe so far? I believe that I believe it's all going to be circumstantial evidence. And if it's all just like she didn't act the way we thought she would have when she heard about the crime, I don't think that's enough to convict. I have some reasonable doubts. I want to know more about the unknown male DNA under the victim's fingernails when she was found wearing a bathrobe. We know in the bathroom the hairdryer was out with the cord over the toilet, meaning it was probably used more recently than the toilet. If she did take a shower and there's male DNA under her fingernails, that's an area where I would say at least there's reasonable doubt that exists. Fanny Pack member for 17 months. Thank you, JPC. Also 17 months, says Love RA and all the addicts. And let's see, we've got... This is the best place to be on YouTube. Thank you very much, Karen. Appreciate that. Nicole Wise, member for 16 months. Happy Friday. Everyone, 16 months was flown by. What? This Hager's Hammer countdown. Yeah, that's the judge hammering down. Ivan came in with a birthday notice of his own. Happy 41st birthday, Ivan. Hope it's going great for you. Hope you have great plans for the weekend involving the bracket and lots of wins. Todd in recovery, member for 10 months. Just noticed some kind person gifted me while I was slept. By the way, 86 days sober. There we go. Had to scroll over for that one. 86 days.
It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us.
That's big. Congratulations, Todd. That is awesome. Congratulations on 86 days. Andrew C., member for 23 months. One more month, and you're going to have the 2-year mark. Katia, we came in, got you as well. Hope I'm okay. I'm doing great. Thank you for checking up on me, Katia. Let's see. Sharon Ken Sharp with 24 months. Thank you. Also just had, Jennifer Cochran Fent says, have you read about the possible suspect with Mara Murray? One of my best friends knows the guy. Always watching, just quiet and chat. Jennifer, I have not. First of all, congratulations on 18 months. Wouldn't be the same without you here. I have not read about that one. Send me a link to the burner phone, and I might look into that. Only 75 more days until we can sing happy birthday, literally, to my new baby. You better believe I'll be watching from the hospital. I've heard the intro music is great for birthing. I wouldn't know, but Abby, congratulations in advance. It's awesome. What's the name going to be? We're excited to hear that. Okay, my scroll wheel is not scroll wheeling. Yep, nothing's working. Oh, Buttercup watches for credit card theft tips. Gotcha, Rebecca. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, jury's still doing jury deliberation stuff. I think I'm going to make a... they've got to be... I thought this was going to be open and shut. That they're still sitting here 7 hours in or so. I think it's about 7 hours. What time is it? It's lunchtime. This is a surprise for me. Under 60 days here, Abby J. It's going to come quickly. Me and my baby will sing to yours. Court, congratulations as well. It's going to be a Samantha. That's a beautiful name. We love our Samanthas. Watch for pickle recommendations. Hope the jury remembers the male DNA. That's the best evidence for Nichole innocent they have. I don't believe the witnesses so far. Laurie, 18 years ago, right? 18 years ago was a long time ago to remember. And if there's no record until 2022, still that's still a lot of years to remember what happened at a party. I'd like to see with this last witness, and one of you mentioned this already in chat, I'd like to hear from the other two friends that she told that night that it happened. I'd like to hear from them. I realize that would be like hearsay, like just trying to confirm hearsay. But I'd like to have a little more on that. Brandy Joe O, welcome to the gallery. Thank you. You can never leave, by the way. Love that green courthouse. Spring is baby season. Been a long, boring winter. Off topic, but our police need our support. If you haven't seen, you need to read up on what happened in Colorado yesterday. Oh, no. I haven't seen. Kathy covered the case this morning. She probably did a hilarious job doing it. Kathy's take on things will make your side split. To explain my birthday comment from before, Sunset Strip refers to the TV show 77 Sunset Strip, and the trombone refers to the musical 76 Trombones. 76 trombones led the big parade. 110 clarinets filled the air, something like that. I don't remember how it goes, but good movie. We've got trouble, my friends, right here in River City. Capital T in the rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. I got to go to the post office, have a birthday card. I need to go to the post office as well. So we're going to portal. I turn my kitchen TV up, put the volume up. If nothing is going on in trial and we're done with North Dakota for the day, the jury in New Hampshire is just deliberating. I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do. I need to think of what I want to do on Monday for my birthday. We'll be in court, but maybe I can get Mrs. R.A. to make me a cake and bring it in and sing happy birthday to me on the stream. Do you think I could do that? Want to call my brain isn't fully awake, so collecting my thoughts is currently difficult, Jen. I'm with you. Brandy Joe, I'm behind on this case. Can anyone catch me up? Brandy Joe, this is a cold case. Well, this case is not. This is the snowplow driver and the neighbor who got in an argument over snow placement, and the snowplow driver shot and nearly killed the neighbor. He survived, even though he was shot 6 times with a 9mm. So this is an attempted murder trial. I thought it was open and shut. The jury's taking their time doing that. The other case we're following is out of North Dakota, which is a cold case, happened back in 2007, where a roommate is accused of stabbing her roommate to death over an argument, I guess over an alarm clock. And the only thing that brought this North Dakota case to sort of the forefront and sort of stirred up the pot and got some action on it was the fact that Cold Justice, a TV show podcast like type series, did a special on it, and maybe some evidence that had been swept under the rug or deleted or overlooked was brought back up, and they decided to press charges. There is a lot of room for reasonable doubt in this case, but obviously the community probably wants justice. The family deserves it, and so a lot of questions. It is a true whodunit. Won't be surprised if he gets a not guilty verdict out of New Hampshire. My son's birthday is Sunday, 38. Dana, congratulations to your son and to you, raising a good one. We are caught up in both cases we're watching. Yes, we are. Looking forward to hearing the verdict music playing for the snowplow case. Wonder if Cold Justice will say what Cold Justice will say if she's not convicted. It seems like the Cold Justice, which I have not watched yet, the episodes, definitely pointed sort of the finger of blame in her direction as where the suspicion lies. All right. The judge in the New Hampshire case addressed the jury as gentlemen yesterday. It's all guys? Whoa. Got a call coming in on the burner phone. And I just opened the camera, which didn't help me at all. Let's see if this helps.
Call from Jen Christie.
Is it Jen Christie or Kim Christie?
It's Jen.
Jen,
It's
okay.
Jen Christie, Jennifer Christensen. I don't know which account I'm on today. I don't.
Christie, Miss Christie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous. What thoughts are miscombobulated in your head right now?
Okay, well, I'm really tired, so pardon my whatever. So I have just a few things, but they're very short. I don't understand what's taking them so long with the snowplow. Like, if they're in deliberations, they should already be done, in my opinion. You can't shoot somebody in the back several times and it be, I don't know, an accident or whatever you're going to be.
Self-defense.
Like, it can't be.
Self-defense.
Self-defense. That's what I meant. It can't. That makes no sense to me. That doesn't equal. The math is not mathing.
The whole idea of self-defense is that there is a threat, there is a danger, and you have the right to stop it. Right? That's the premise. If you're shooting someone in the back, saying they're the danger, you've got to be able to articulate how. Are they facing away from you so they can lug something over their shoulder at you? You've got to have some sort of "I was in danger" part. Otherwise, it just looks like he was running away. In this case, he was crawling away with his face nearly blown off as you shot him in the jaw and broke his mandible in two places. I don't see the threat.
So I don't understand why it's taking the jury so long, because to me it's open and shut, bam, bam, go to jail. Right? And then so the other one, so the one in North Dakota, Nichole, what's her face?
Rice.
Yeah, that's it, Nichole Rice. I haven't seen anything that says it's her, but I haven't seen anything that doesn't say it's her. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, are you getting a feeling? I'm getting nothing.
I can see why she would be a suspect still. I haven't seen anything that clears her from being a suspect. Obviously, somebody who has access to the room, where there was no signs of, there was signs of forced entry, but they believed that it was faked. That it was set up as a
stage.
Nobody fits through that type thing. I could see why she would be on the list. It's, if a wife ends up dead, the husband gets questioned.
No, for sure.
That's why she's there. I look forward to hearing some of her testimony that she gave, or reasons she gave where she was. If she lied about it, that does raise some suspicions. But I think we need more than just she lied about where she was at the time of the murder to convict her. So. Right.
I have no, like, I need more with that one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
My plate is so sparse right now with that one. I need more. Give me all the information. I am that kind of person, though. And then I wanted to let you know before I abruptly let you go that you are doing great. Don't let anybody's comments about you've changed since the beginning. Everybody changes and they grow and they evolve and they become a slightly different version of what they were. That's natural. You're doing great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I don't. There are some ways I'm fine in changing, and if it involves buying more tech, I'm all on board there.
No, for sure.
But I don't want to lose my moral compass that I began with. That's important to me. So.
I mean, I don't know exactly where. I mean, I'm not you. I'm not you, right? But I don't see that you've. It doesn't feel so drastically different that you've lost your moral compass, in my opinion. But obviously, my opinion only matters to me. Like, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I appreciate that, and I'm not saying that that it will change what I'm doing, but it's something that I need to be mindful of going forward. I don't think I'm like I'm the mirror image of what I started out as. But I think it's something that it's constructive criticism. And it's something I think is fair. So I appreciate your comments as well. I'll weigh all of them appropriately.
No, I mean, I understand that. I just wanted you to, I don't want you to feel like everybody thinks like that, because I do not. I think you are doing great, and it's natural to change. I've watched other YouTubers that are earlier in their days, they change slightly. That's normal. As long as you
I'm
don't
mortified by my
from one
early
extreme to the other.
live streams are actually absolutely terrible. It's so bad. Going back and watching one from way back in the day, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I did that. But
That's because you were new and you didn't catch into your groove yet.
yeah.
You know, that's normal.
Well, thank you very much.
You're doing great, and I just wanted to say that, and I have no idea what I'm saying because I am literally still sleeping.
Well, the good news is it's Friday, Jen. So you've got the whole weekend to get back on and get ready for whatever happens on Monday, which is my birthday. What are you going to do on Monday for my birthday? Do you have plans?
I am going to watch you in anticipation of what you might do. I'm hoping for like some spicy bourbon pickle action or something, because that's how I'm feeling for you. But you are you and do you, and I'll just be watching. You know what I mean?
Sounds good. Maybe we'll do like a special morning bike ride live stream. We'll see. Yeah. I've got the ability to. I bought myself a birthday present. Can I show you?
Oh, I mean, I
it's
can't
just
see
for you.
anything.
Nobody else look. Nobody else look.
Yeah, everybody, close your eyes.
This is not actually a laser firing pew pew. This is a gyro stabilized gimbal, which I would put the phone on there, but it would hang up on you when I did that. But you turn it on and it balances and it keeps the phone nice and level, so you can walk around, and like 3,000 times a second it adjusts so that it never wiggles. But I got this, and I got the piece to attach it to the handlebars of my bike, and I could put the two together, and I can go live on my bike, and it will probably be incredibly bumpy, but we might do a bike ride.
Well, that would be cool. I mean, look, some people wouldn't like it because they probably have motion sickness. I would think it's cool, but everybody's different.
You guys wouldn't like it because you're like, and that's all you do? A quarter mile and you're spent?
Look, my bike has been hanging out, just hanging on the wall in my shed, just hanging out for 5 years. Don't worry about it. I'm not getting on that thing. It could be dangerous. I'm old now.
Mine was sitting in the shed for 5 years and the basement, and I finally fixed it up and riding it. But
yeah, you and I are the same age, and I don't know how your body's feeling, but like my knees are starting to hurt. Oh man,
my body feels great. There's just more of it to feel. That's the problem. So, I looking at everything, health-wise, I've been blessed just incredibly. I have my faculties. I can still think straight for the most part. Been able to do pretty much any activity I wanted to, even though I choose not to. So I really can't complain. So.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, and I don't mean that. Look, there's no anything behind that. I mean, that is great. Me, I feel like my brain is great, but like my body, it got it got run over by a freight train.
When I fall down, it gets harder to get back up. I mean, it's just.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day when you could sit from the couch and jump up to a standing position, that doesn't happen anymore. I don't know why.
See, I was in gymnastics 9.5 years. I used to be able to do all sorts of things. I can't even look at that stuff. It hurts my body.
I ran cross country. I mean, an 8-mile workout was just like a fun morning for me. It's not as fun anymore. So
no, because it's like if you're not doing it continuously, it sucks so bad.
I hope to get back into it. Maybe I'll do one this afternoon. Get another ride in. I might need to add some padding to the seat. It's not nearly as comfortable as I remember it being.
You might need a new seat because they have different kinds of seats for booties that need a little bit more cushion. Because the older we get, the less.
My booty brings the cushion, but the seat is not doing it for me. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go because I will sit here and chat to you all day.
Jen, thank you very much. It's always great to talk to you. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good day.
We'll see you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Do you have evidence collecting cups on the back of your shirt? Yes, I do. These are good old American Solo Cups, courtesy of Melissa, who is watching. Not in chat. She's not feeling well, but she's watching. She's texted us. What is Aria's address? I had it, but I lost it. The P.O. Box is what we give out. I actually dreamed people showed up at the house, and I had to call the police on them. So don't do that. But there's the P.O. Box right there. You start with there. Just put recovery addict. Amber put another name, something like Big Dill or something on it, and the post office almost didn't give me my packages.
Call from.
Hey, you cut out on the name. Who am I speaking with?
Bap.
Bap. Bap.
Yeah, I'm new to your channel.
No, it's all right. I saw you in chat a couple
No,
times.
I'm joking.
No, yeah.
I'm joking. I've been here before.
Yeah, you've called before. But it's all right. I saw the joke in there. You did little eyes after we're saying, first time here, I know better. I recognize you.
Well, I don't expect you guys to remember everybody. You have like 8 million people in your chat, but yeah, we've spoken before.
That would be something.
Right.
That would be like Ryan Holyall type live stream. I've never been there.
I couldn't imagine needing to remember as many people as you have, or like Emily Baker or any of those people. How you guys do what you do, I have no idea. All these interactions and things.
I love it. I love meeting new people, hearing from different accents, getting different perspectives. I love people who know more than me, correcting me and making me smarter. I love all that. So,
yeah. It definitely seems like it would be a lot of interesting experiences. I'll say that in a good way.
What's in your minds, either about these cases we're watching or about the weekend? What are you doing for my birthday? All those things.
Well, with the Nichole Rice case, I think with any cold case, I feel like it's an uphill battle. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if they're going to be able to get the conviction. But, it's been 20 years. You have people whose memories have faded, like you were saying earlier. If I can't remember a conversation that I had 5 years ago, the actual details of it, much less 20 years ago.
Many of the witnesses we've heard in North Dakota don't remember making statements to the police. I mean, that's been a consistent thing. It was nearly, 18 years ago that this happened. I just don't recall saying that. And their memory now is different than it was back then. So it does make a challenge for the state.
Yeah, your mind tends to fill in blanks and things like that. And so it's like you don't know how accurate or inaccurate somebody's testimony is. For the family, I guess, it's at least good that they were able to see somebody put on trial for what happened to her, and maybe they'll see justice, maybe they won't. I'm not sure. The New Hampshire trial, that one I feel like is a guilty, but I don't think that the defense lawyer was nearly incompetent. I think he made a great argument. Made great arguments, and so I can see how the jury, might be having a more difficult time convicting, but I think that ultimately he'll get some level of a conviction.
Yeah. Well, I think he will as well. I think you're right on that one. I'm surprised it's taken this long. The defense did not speak to me as much in that one. And maybe it's because I've taken those classes for firearm safety and carrying a concealed weapon and learned the law about that. And so I look at that situation and say, I was taught quite clearly that if I did that, I would be getting a shiny new pair of bracelets, matching bracelets. Right. And so for me, my understanding in the state that I was taught in, that would not be self-defense. But if the law allows the jury to look at this in a larger picture, like the defense attorney said, look at the totality of the situation, what came before and after, and allows them to look at that without breaking it down into a pause, and what about now, play, pause, frame by frame, I could see where there could be a holdout.
Yeah, and so all you can do is put on a case and see what the jury decides, right?
Yep, that's right.
And then I just wanted to say one last thing. You were kind of being introspective about the direction of your channel somewhat earlier. And I'll say I've been here since Letitia Stout, however you say her name,
It starts with a B. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, that fits completely after what she did to that child. But yeah,
bad person.
I'd say yeah, horrible person, right? But I would say I don't feel like you lost any sort of direction or anything like that. The Letitia Stout trial in itself was very, very intense, right?
Yeah.
It had a lot of very hard to process evidence. I would go to a lot of different places in law too, about bounce around here or there. And your channel specifically, I liked because you seem to give a whole lot of care and introspection, and you actually care about presenting, things in a less biased manner than maybe some people do. So I think your channel is fine. Perfectly fine.
Well, thank you. I know I follow courts a little bit differently than other people. It's not that I don't love the action and the digging into the court. I'm trying really hard to be a better juror when I'm watching court.
Right.
That's like my number one goal. Be a better juror. Don't make a decision until you hear all the evidence. That's what I'm telling myself. And sometimes the best way for me to do that is to say, okay, now look at it from the other perspective. And try to articulate the other side, and it's helped me a little bit. I'm still not super good at it, but it has helped me a little bit, and I appreciate you enjoyed it. So thank you, Bap.
Yeah, I think that's a great approach to it, because you have to at least be willing to hear the other side and give it some level of thought. So yeah, but yeah. It was nice speaking with you today. I'm going to stop talking your ear off.
Well, Bap, thank you. I'm glad you're in chat. I'm glad you're on the phone. We'll talk again soon.
All right, bye.
See you. Bye. All right. Still deliberating in New Hampshire. I don't know if they're going to reach a verdict today or not. So let's see. Anything else? I was going to mention an example. Bap was talking about, we were talking about memories changing over time. Let me give you a personal example of a memory I had, which I was 100% sure was accurate. I caught a brown trout on the Weber River up near Echo Reservoir. So basically between Ogden and Evanston, Wyoming, up in the mountains up there. I caught a brown trout. It was 26 and a half inches long. I remember this vividly. And I caught it on a black mouse fly. It's a well, they call it a fly because it's an artificial fly. It's a single hook tied with a bit of rabbit fur made to look like it's a mouse swimming in the water. It's a big fly, right? It's a long fly. It's not like a little tiny one that sits on the water. And I caught this on a fly rod and fought this thing. It fought like a whale. And I remember vividly this story. I went back and I remembered that I had taken a picture of this fish on the ground next to my fly rod, which I had done. But it wasn't until I looked at the picture and I saw that in its mouth, when I caught it, was a Rapala lure, that I realized that I had caught this on a spinning lure on the other rod I was carrying with me. And I only used the fly rod because it had better measurements on it, so I could mark where the fish was, so I could measure how long it was. In my head, I was 100% positive that I caught the biggest fish of my life on a fly rod, when in fact it was a Rapala spinning lure, which is entirely different reel, different setup, and it's not a big deal to someone who's not a fisherman. But I have told that story to people countless times about catching this fish on a fly rod, which in my head I had, and then that little Rapala. That little black and gold sinking Rapala, I think it was the number 7, has been the one that did the trick. So yeah, it's possible that our memory of events change over time. In my case, my recollection was only refreshed when I saw that little piece of evidence that made it all come back clear. It's like, I remember. Yes, I had been fishing with that black lure, but I had caught nothing on it. And I only set it next to the fly rod because that's to measure it. Anyway, topwater or best. I struggle with topwater. I need countdowns. Although the bass topwater strike is amazing. All right. Eddie's, I left. I thought it was over. We're still here. We're waiting for New Hampshire to come through. And they're not. We just got static from court. Number 7, brown trout catch walleye like crazy. I've only caught one walleye in my life. It was on a worm in a pond. A big pond, but a pond. We've never heard Rapala said correctly before, says Blissful Squirrel. Are you one of those Rapala people? You're a Rapala person. I've always said Rapala. All right. Where's my courthouse and what's the name of the documentary? Cold Justice is the name of the documentary. I don't know where your courthouse went. Look around. Sometimes they fall between the couch cushions. Check for them there. Even immediately recalling events, people who saw the same thing will tell different stories. Human memory is not as accurate as we might think. It's probably one of the least accurate forms of evidence that we allow in court is human memory. Because it's all skewed based on our perception from the angle we watch something. Walleye are boring fish to catch, but taste great. I would agree on the boring to catch part. And fabulous to eat. It's like an overgrown perch. Love it. Hank filed a motion for communication between Karen and Yannetti. I saw that. I thought it was granted in part. Was that the latest I saw? Karen and Yannetti. I was thinking Karen and Turtle Boy. Maybe I'm wrong. I saw there was a motion for communication between Karen and somebody else, but I think the part that was granted was anything that had to do with. I thought it was Turtle Boy. That had to do with witness tampering or something, or harassment. Yannetti? How is that not work product? How is that not like attorney-client privilege? It was done this morning. Amber, do you happen to have that? If you're here, Amber. Let's see. I'm looking. Amber's on a call. Okay. Let me see if she sent it to me already this morning. If not, it's probably going to be over in Discord for sure. It's a memo on the decision. I haven't seen it. Yeah, this is my first thought for sure, Katrina. That's a line you don't cross easily.
Call from
Master Eden.
To accept.
Master Eden, how are you doing today?
How you doing? Good. I got a suggestion. If you go to lunch anytime soon, do you think you might get a verdict?
all I have to do is start playing the music and say we're going to go and to wrap up, and maybe the jury will come in. Does that work?
I think that might work.
It seems to work that way. Maybe I'll take one for the team and go to lunch and let the jury come back. So,
there you go.
Thank you for that.
Right.
You got plans for the weekend?
My daughter's birthday is on the 24th, so I'm planning on taking her somewhere special.
Awesome.
I don't know. We'll see.
I share a birthday with her, so that's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you know what? When everybody still stops singing, I say, hey, everybody, let's just sing the Recovery Addict. You're going to look at me crazy, but I'm going to say, everybody, let's just sing the Recovery Addict when we're done.
That's awesome. Do I sing? Yeah. Do I sing to myself? What's the protocol on that? Do I sing to myself?
Yes.
Happy birthday to me.
Thank you. Yeah, you should. Everybody's going to look at you crazy, but you should sing to yourself on your birthday. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. I'll do that then. We'll do that. Did you just get lunch?
I did. I got DoorDash for the day.
Awesome. What are you eating? It's lunchtime, so we can talk about food. Just whatever they brought
the
you.
Mrs. got it. Okay. It's in a bag. The missus got it. I don't even know what's in here.
All right. Well, I hope it's good. I hope it's delicious. Master Eden, good to talk to you. Have a good weekend. Happy birthday in advance to your daughter.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Bye. Oh, that's awesome. Rapala is a Finnish company, so the word is pronounced as it is written. The A sound like in car. Raw. You have to roll your R's and stress the first syllable as well. Okay, spell this out with a crayon, Hannah. Rapala. Rapala. Is that it? Rapala. I'm terrible at rolling my R's. I can do the thing, but not connect it to the R. Rapala. Rapala. How many rolls do you do? Is like one? That's two. You play an extra verse and we sing to you. That's how it works. Lynn says it was between Karen Reed and Turtle Boy, granted in part yesterday, unless there's new filing. That's the one I saw. The granted in part filing. And there's no, they don't know how much there is, but that's what they're going to look for. It was stated that Karen Reed waived her attorney-client privilege because she did public interviews. I would say that her discussion with somebody else at that time, that content was waived. So there could be an argument there, because if you are sitting with your attorney or having a discussion, you walk into a crowded elevator and continue your discussion, you have waived attorney-client privilege for that part of the discussion because it's no longer private. You're now holding a public conversation, which isn't covered under attorney-client privilege. It's on the docket. He wants communications between Reed and Yannetti. I don't know how you could say those are open a fair game when they clearly are between two people. I mean, they're on a phone. They're text message, unless it was like a group text message between multiple people. I don't know how he could argue for that and win with anyone. Well, unless, yeah. Let's see. Dan B, thank you. Did you just send me the picture of the courthouse? You have called my bluff and seen that I actually put a different picture of the courthouse on the thumbnail than what we are. This is for North Dakota. The picture I use for the North Dakota thumbnail is actually, I believe, one of the main buildings on the college campus in Minot. So it's not the courtroom. But thank you for providing the picture of the courthouse. That looks awesome. So Rapala. Nobody says it like that. It's always Rapala. He's honestly a sneaky attorney. I don't like him at all. Talking about Hank. Maybe for anything she talked about in the interview, but not everything she talked about with her attorney. And I would say not anything even talking about what they're going to talk about in the interview. That would also be covered under attorney-client privilege, unless someone else was included in those conversations. The only way Turtle Boy communicated with Care was on an app that has zero capability of pulling the conversation, per Turtle Boy himself. Yeah, good luck. Good luck finding WhatsApp messages that were deleted, if that's what they were. There's another typo in the title of one of the other motions, typical Commonwealth. They've had some issues with spelling and typos. Tomato. Besides living in Minot, the State University is kind of weird because there's a cemetery right in front of one of the dorm rooms. Oh, no. Living ghost. Wow. I guess if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. That's the idea. Either graduate or live here forever. I love figuring out what app scrambled texts mean. We did that in one trial already. It was the Signal app. Okay, my family uses Signal. That's what we use. By the way, let me share a little something with you. Hope she doesn't mind me sharing this. My mom called me. She's active on the computer, but she's not she's not a computer programmer, right? She's not that level. She's very, very good at doing what she does. She loves researching genealogies and finding, helping people trace ancestors, where they came from, and histories and things like that. She might even start a YouTube about it. She's really, really good at that. But she is of the age where she is a prime target for scammers. And this is part of the reason why I hate scammers, because they prey on people and are so good at doing what they do, tricking people into giving information and everything else. Let me just tell you, and every time I bring up this story, people reach out to me on the burner phone and say, that happened to me. I just lost this much. I'm so embarrassed. I don't know who to talk to. I just paid this much money. I thought it was real. Public service announcement for everybody. If somebody calls you on the phone, no matter how mad they get, how urgent it is, and says, you have to pay this or else, we've got your, a ransom note, or, it doesn't matter what the story. It doesn't matter if it's somebody saying, we're from the police department, you skipped jury duty, and there's a fine, we're going to come and arrest you, or you have to pay this fine right now. It's not. That's not how it works. If somebody calls you on the phone and says you need to stay on the phone, you can't call the police, you can't do anything else, or else we're coming down, we're going to take your house from you, you're going to be humiliated in front of all your neighbors as you get hauled off to jail. It's not true. It's not real. They are scamming you. They are literally lying and trying to cheat you out of your hard-earned money. They prey on people who are sympathetic to causes, and what's happened with my mom is literally that there's different things. They're called phishing attempts, where they just send out a whole bunch of calls or a whole bunch of emails and hope somebody clicks on it. And then there's spear phishing, where they take somebody and say, we found somebody who we think we can get to, and we're going to try all these different ways, and we'll call and we'll try to get information, and then any information we get we'll try to use in a different call from a different angle, so we sound more legitimate. And now we know your name, and we know this about your family, or we know this about what you do for fun, or where you are, or where you were going, or where we might have met. And they will social engineer this connection to the point where eventually you might get a call from somebody you don't remember in the slightest, who knows your kids' names, knows what you do for fun, knows your hobbies, and ends up asking some information about money, or asking for help, or just, if anything like that happens, if you get anything, your gut feel that something's not right is probably right. Call a family member, call a friend, let them know. Make an excuse. Say your cell phone battery is dying, whatever you need to do, hang up on them and call and talk to somebody else. Never use the number they give you to call back. Don't call back and think that that's the bank, because that's the number they called you from. It's not. Always either go and talk to your bank in person and say, I think someone's trying to scam me. They probably are. I hate the idea that some of our wonderful friends that are in the prime of their life, in the golden years, are getting ripped off and losing money to these scammers who just have no conscience and no soul, and deserve to rot in hell for the rest of eternity. That's my personal opinion. Anyway, if for no other reason, if you can't, if you don't have somebody like that, text me about it. Text me about it. Honestly, I would love to, return calls to a scammer and wreck their day a little bit. But yeah, I wish there was something you could do that could prevent this, right? There are things you can do. You can put fraud accounts on your bank account and on your credit cards and things, and it makes it very difficult for you to use them, because every time you try to spend money, you have to verify, and there's two-factor authentication and everything else. It makes things tricky, and a lot of times people in this situation find that that's too cumbersome for them. But if they ask you for money, it's a scam. The courts don't do that. They don't. That's not how it works. So now, how do you really feel? that's part of the reason why I love to take these phone calls and just waste their time so they can't waste somebody else's. Anyway, last night I ended up making a phone call to somebody who had called my mom to do some verification, and I think the person who called was legitimate, but they got information from somebody who was trying to scam my mom and accidentally sent it to the wrong person. So, crazy stuff. Yeah, if you get an email, oh my goodness, these are the worst. If you get an email saying this is about to be charged to your account, call me if you want this reversed, that is a scam. It's not going to be charged to your account unless it's something you actually bought. Just know that if your credit card is charged with something fraudulently, the bank has to refund that. Let them know, and they have to refund it. That's how things work. Don't follow people's emails saying your account's about to be deleted. Contact us immediately, or else you're in trouble. Nope. If you have any concerns, go to that company's website directly. Don't use any link in an email. Don't click on the link. Don't call the numbers that they sent you. Look it up yourself on Google, and do that. IRS doesn't call people. So, and if you doubt anything, just say this. Just say, I've had concerns about fraud in the past, and all my calls are recorded for the police. Just say something like that. The police are monitoring my phone calls because we've had some problems with fraud. Just throw that out there. You'll be surprised how fast people hang up on you. So anyway, it's a lie. It's a lie. I don't feel bad about lying to scammers. I don't know how else to protect people. The PayPass toll is the latest scam. Yeah, ask them what the code word is. Let them know you've established a code word, and they have to know it. They don't know it. All right, we've spent enough time talking. Believe it or not, New Hampshire is still deliberating. Nothing happening out of New Hampshire. So we're going to go ahead and call it a day until we get a verdict. And then if there's a verdict, we'll come back with a quick live stream. I'm going to get ready for this weekend, which is going to be nuts. And then birthday on Monday. You know what? No, I'm not done talking about scammers yet. I decided you've triggered just a little part of me. I am frustrated that we don't hold service providers a little more responsible for activities that happen on their networks, particularly phone providers. It is appalling that with the technological advances that we've had in every other area, that we still allow phone companies to let people spoof phone numbers and be whoever they want to be on your caller ID without any verification or authentication process involved whatsoever. I think that phone companies should be responsible for some of the activity that happens to some extent. I'm not huge on punishing the provider for anything somebody else does. Like, you don't punish Ford for somebody speeding, right, in their Ford Escort or whatever it is. I'm not big on that, but I do think there is a measure of responsibility that phone companies have, that there are things they can do to stop scammers from happening. And unfortunately, I think there's too much money involved in it for them to take any action. But I'll gripe about that sometime when it's politics, not pickles, and we won't get into that. All right. I'm confused. When is your birthday again today? It's not today. It is on Monday. Monday's my birthday. Yeah. Email. If you're not expecting an email, don't open it. Don't open emails from people you don't know. Simply opening the email sometimes can be enough to infect your computer with a virus. Definitely opening any attachment from somebody you don't know has a possibility of infecting your computer with a virus that allows them to see everything you do on your computer and possibly even take control of your computer and all the accounts you access through it. Just if you can avoid it, do. So let's see. I sent you a really interesting zip file to the burner phone. Greeners, sorry. I'm going to have to run that through a virus scanner before I download that. We have scammers in Germany who ring our doors and want to trick us into internet contracts with lying their butts off. They're aggressive and nasty, and the company doesn't care. Oh, that's terrible. Rose just got a spam call. It's crazy. Tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better. Please stay safe till we go live again either Monday with the live stream out of North Dakota. As the case continues, we're going to have 4 more witnesses in that case before the state rests, and then defense is going to take over. It's going to be fascinating. Or possibly later today if the jury ever decides to get their butts together and come up with a verdict out of New Hampshire. So we'll watch for that. You guys, thank you very much for being here today. Have yourselves a great weekend. Be kind to each other. Don't fall victim to any scammers, and have a great weekend. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
And now let Murdoch stall it.